flash, actually protecting Freiburg as they're boosting up into short. But Shox has moved so aggressively through upper dark. Now he's battling from lower dark, hitting into NiP, dealing out tremendous amounts of damage, which is going to make this move on the cat into A side even harder as MVK's there to defend. So is Smith's on 5 HP, so he's not a very healthy chappy. He's got a lot of help from MVK, already taking out 2. And Freiburg battling up against the boxes, and finally they're able to get on top of this, but where's your extra support? It's 1-on-2 situation. Exist on 16 HP trying to battle from long A, but Shox sitting very comfortably here on Cat. We're still with 94 armor as well. Exist needs nothing but the head here, and he can't get it. So first round goes to EnvyUs here on Dust2.
So back to the CT start. Question is, what kind of response do we see from this? Are they going to go for rifles? It is more an open map when you're over toward A. B's a little more confined, obviously. It's actually a mixture of everything. We've got a shotgun as well as 2 SMGs and 1 rifle, only a FAMAS, but 1 rifle out. Where do they play it? They go for the 3 long push off the start, but don't really have guns to be up close. No, Happy is the one on the corner, though. That's the benefit.
I'm watching more closely on NiP to see where they're going to head, because right now there's 3 very quickly moving up through short. They have to get on top of the A site so quickly. The flash is on long for already. Alu not able to get through there. MBK, where's that lockdown control? Forest still moving up. They're seeing the jump player as Shox trying to get a little bit of vision. It's Kia who's getting the kill. Shox is merely just the bait on the side until Forest, 1 shot, takes out 2 for Keo. The bomb is still in the open. And it's a 1-on-2 situation. He is up against the rivals, can take that bomb and potentially move his way over to B, which looks to be the case.
I was just thinking in my head that Forrest, typically the best pistol player in the world, has been silent in this series with a pistol.
Then he gets a 3.
And then he does that.
If he's going to get this, it has to be a full ace. So he's trying to bait it out as though he's run over to A. So then it's just a 1-on-1 situation. Now, if Happy has a bit of a peek here, he's going to see it. And there it is. Happy, a lot of patience, and gets him down with the FAMAS.
That was actually the 1-on-1 he would have wanted as well, because that was your low HP player. Happy was sitting, I think, 19, as we see actually in the replay. So 19 HP on the site. That first shot was beautiful. But, I mean, if he had been able to get that one, although he still wasn't sure, he didn't have full read on their positioning from that second player that went long all the way through CT. He thought he was going to be out toward mid and trying to pinch off on Forrest, not giving him the ability to rotate, which is actually why I think he didn't go all the way out to mid to initially begin with and work over toward B.
Well, where's NiP going to come this time? It's full normal pistols, nothing being purchased at all. And Shox already knows this, and he's running aggressively down, looking for basically glory and death. And he's going to take 1, 2, and looking for the 3rd, can't get it, which means he'll give over his weapon into the hands of Get Right. And Happy, waiting for the right moment, brings down Alu, can't get more though. As long as they don't lose the M4s, then EnvyUs is happy with this, and Smith's looking to mop it up. Still, the last 2 players are the ones left with the M4s, so Keo and MBK. And MBK, when he scouts out Get Right, but they're going to perfectly pinch it.
Yeah, no, you're dead right. I mean, the other guns are going to be upgraded in the next round anyway. You're going to go get guns for the T's. There's no reason not to push this aggressively and try and end it a little bit earlier, but now Get Right picks up the rifle. Could have got hairy. It doesn't. MBK stands true.
And Team EnvyUs go 3 rounds to 0, so it's their turn to have the early advantage at the start of the map. But NiP are going to buy up here.
They buy into the op as well, but Alu's going with only the chest armor. And against M4s, that actually is significant. So they really want to get him on fast and early in this game to try and answer back.
And he couldn't get the initial cross hit, which means the 2 players did get over to B for EnvyUs. 2 on long, and then there's that 1 hovering around the back of the A. That's Smith's that we're on board with right now.
And they're actually going to give up mid entirely. Happy's just rotating back into CT now. So they've stacked B a little bit more aggressively. That may be a trend depending on how NiP, if they stay aggressive early or if they start putting presence at mid. Depending on the trend of the offense, they'll adapt as that goes on.
As that flash in the mid, up they come. There's no one from EnvyUs there, so they just back out again. Keo and Shox. Okay, now Keo's going to actually bring his eyes towards mid, but Happy's up on top of that boxes.
I mean, that's his spot. He uses both of those ones quite well. He is known for it, though, so they will immediately check this. But again, slow peek, Happy's already ready for it.
Yep. And he can just throw the flash, then have another bit of a bounce over, so he sees the fact that Freiburg is here too. And NiP, they just can't punch that hole in EnvyUs' CT defense.
And Shocks is pushed up aggressively into the corner right outside the B tunnel, so it would be a hard entry point right now for Forest if you wanted to walk in.
Just keep these flashes coming, even with the smokes. And Happy back up on boxes again. MBK's, well, currently in a battle. GetRight's going to be the one to kill off Happy. But MBK is the man. Okay, that's where he came from. He came all the way up through the mid until GetRight. Point blank range on Keo. I swear, these guns, someone's modified the sights on them.
Similar play to what we saw from Forest on Cash. Up close, can't close it off, so Smiths has to come in the hard way. Alu's going to find him, and MBK in the backside. Yeah, no, I think he'll run away with the gun.
GetRight is low, and so is Forest, but you'll have to be pretty damn...
Just in case people were wondering if he uses the M4A1 or the M4A4, he's got 15,000 kills on that stat track. I'd say he's pretty committed to this rifle.
He's got that defuse. Is he going to... No. No.
Wow.
Flashback. He's going for extra frags. Takes one, can't get the second, however. He had all the money in the world to buy himself up a new weapon, so I don't think there's any... Well, actually, I take that back. I take it back completely.
Yeah, no, they're actually quite scarce here because, again, that's your first gun. They had to upgrade. As we mentioned, they lost 3 players in round number 3, so they had to buy up 3 full rifles. He was one of them. So he wasn't in the best position, truthfully, and he was going down regardless there. If he goes through that aggressively, he's going to die to the bomb regardless, so he committed. There is still the balance with his teammates, though. They all are in a similar situation. The one scout out, that's about it. Scout out. I would be Canadian and say that back-to-back.
Don't worry. I wasn't going to pick on you for it. But MBK can at least get this kind of positioning. Like, he knows he can get this nice pick off and actually gets a bullet into Exist, dropping him down by 70 HP. He did get dinked up a little bit for it himself, but that's a worthwhile trade. There's Shocks. And EnvyUs, they really do like to move up so aggressively and control upper dark. And if he looks to the right, he's going to see Forest, but Shocks was too busy looking at the stairs. So the first kill of the round does go the way of NiP. And they feel like they can get a little bit more presence over on B. They'll have a little bit more power as well if Alu hangs around the mid to kill off the double doors, but they need his help. Keo's back there with just a pistol. In fact, they want to get the pickup on Freiburg, and then into Alu as well. The Molotov, they're trying to flush him out, but it's a little bit too shallow. I think he's still okay, which he is. Yep, he keeps just trying to dink it away with that deagle, and now MBK comes in with the scout. And into the pajamas. It's just a very dark day for them in Upper Dark.
Go us. They're going to do similar to what they did on Cash. You guys are so good in these positions. Keo with the double on the deagle, and Scout with the NBK has been quite a good mix all night long.
Happy. Oh, this is just a disaster for NiP. Exist as the last man standing. He's going to walk through the smoke, jumping up in the boxes, but Smith was standing right next to him and just waiting for him to go over the top of the smoke. So not only do they take the round, but they pick up all of the weapons of NiP.
I mean, that's worst case scenario. There's no consolation in that at all for the Swedes. And I mean, again, you start off that back B position so strong, but Keo is beginning to go for inside the hole. They can't find him at all. He gets 2. And then you just run in. At that point, there's going to be rotators around. You know the scout's already up. It's already done damage on Exist. Maybe it's best to fall back at that point. You still have the range game to your advantage. If you can't get the shot on the angle, pick a different one.
Right now, man, I'm worried we're going to see that 16-1 scoreline because Ninjas in Pajamas, just nothing is right for him. Smith's going to slow down the A push, smoke as well, and flash. And I think they can do to make NiP just so wary about coming out on Cat. And Smiths, well, there's your first hit. And already Freiburg says, screw this. We're going to go back up through mid, but Kiyoshima waiting there like a wave. Washing upon NiP. They can't get anything.
No. And I mean, he leaves Smiths completely unchallenged. And go back to TSM when we saw them on this map. We talked about how Zipnik's had to hold the player on drop. Happy's already out because Keo's quick out of B. Unlike Dupree, who was a little bit slow leaving the B side on Dust2, left Zipnik's to play both sides of mid, both up the CT spawn and at the doors. Happy's already up there. They can't drop. Yes, sure, they're on pistols that time, but Happy's going to kill the drop immediately, and Smiths has all day to make his shots.
Shocks aggressively pushing, able to get that initial hit over on top of Forest with the help of Keo. They bring down Freiburg too. And that's that 3 aggressive push into B and then rotation down into lower dark. But even then, when they keep doing this, like, you've still got to scout over an MBK if he wants to. He can just run over on short, bounce it up, and just get all the vision and potentially even the headshot. While your two aggressive players from EnvyUs, they get as much information as they possibly can out from Upper Dark, so they know where NiP is going, and they always have the numbers then.
Exist. Nice exist.
Yeah, they needed something, and that's something.
And with low HP on Shocks, who is inside B, there's still a chance to get in here, but they're still utilizing this box perfectly. Not peeking at all. And why would you? It's such a powerful angle.
What a shameless self-promotion over on that weapon.
Follow him on Twitter.
And Facebook.
And LiveJournal.
What else we got? Instagram?
Snapchat. Instagram.
Yeah.
VK.
That stuff is so awesome. All right, so at NiP, they're coming for the B site this time around. Shocks is still waiting here with 9 HP, but that's still not going to mean anything if he's able to do stuff like that. Bringing down 2, looking for the third. He's got such fancy footwork. Belongs in Riverdance. NiP losing the 3 players going into B. And 6 rounds to 1. EnvyUs looking unstoppable right now.
They have no answer for that position either. Not even a smoke deep to work inside the site. They're just running into it. That's exactly where Keo picked up the double.
Alu had smoke as well as flash available for that.
They need to figure out something to hold off that platform. Because again, that's exactly where Keo picked up the double. We forgot Tumblr, by the way.
I'm not heartbroken about it.
So MBK is going to get out toward long again, holding onto a scout. We've seen him get 2 jump shots on Cash with it, 1 already on this game. As the Observer has suicided. Rest in peace, Observer, but rest in peace NiP as Freiburg and Exist walk into Happy's gun. Alu at least responds with the Tech 9.
The problem is the gun's too far back, and Keo purposely throwing the nade down to make sure that AK is so far away from them, there's no way they can reach it. So Ninjas in Pajamas are still here with their upgraded pistols, that's all. MBK sees one, tags him up, and well, he's in a real rough position. Needs help with the crossfire, and that's what Smiths is here for. Brings down 2, switches over towards the ult, misses the shot over on GetRight. Still got 1 bullet in the chamber, but it's not enough. With the help of Keo, they are able to make sure that long A doesn't lose complete control. Going to boost Shocks up so they can play the high ground advantage, but Alu, with that bomb, he's already looking to rotate back over to mid.
Question is, does he get across mid before Shocks gets there to get the read?
I would wait for the pick.
No, he's there. He's already around.
He's just going to go for the run? It's going to be a matter of time before EnvyUs just move the extra one, because he goes the long way around. EnvyUs will be like, okay, we have to put 1 to B.
But there's 23 seconds. If Shocks hasn't figured out he's already crossed, they're going to think with time he's going to A. So yeah, and that's exactly the case. He's already into B. At the very least, Alu's going to get a bomb plant down. So this will help the economy of NiP. But with 23 HP, or pardon me, make that less 13 HP, how much can he really hold them out when they've got full HP in the rifles?
Yep. Full armor, full headgear. So Alu's looking for the initial pick in mid. And that push is coming out, but Shocks shoots him in the back. And that's going to be a quick defuse in for EnvyUs, and they go 7 rounds to 1. Ninjas in Pajamas, they need to get some level of traction here. The bomb plan is in, but how much money, what weapons are we looking at for the next round of NiP? They've got actually really good cash too.
64, I think I saw, was basically the average amongst the players.
So they have something to work with. But at the same time, EnvyUs going to be feeling so confident.
And again, they need to, if they're going to keep going B as they have been, they need to find an answer for the back of the platform. A smoke seems like the simplest approach to that. But again, you can spam through the smoke, sure, but at least you can push forward and take down the other players and then overwhelm that one player from the side rather than coming head on. So, But early picks would be the most obvious start. They haven't found too many early picks at all, and Alu does have the op up this time. Freiburg's already on Cat, but look at Smith's already holding. Oh, well-timed flash.
Yep. Took a little bit of a dink as well from that one. Alu was actually looking for the early pick over on long A. The problem was the Molotov just flew through, and he had no other choice but to back up before he can get the hit off. He's happy he's just on defense duty on top of the side. Again, Ninjas in Pajamas looking towards this short A approach.
Question is, though, does NBK lose this long battle right now with GetRight? Because if GetRight can open up that means Smiths has to focus off of car position onto long. That leaves only 1 player to hold Cat in the form of Happy, and then A is wide open. But they're not even going for that, actually. They want this mid.
Yeah, they might be able to get it as well. The flashbang slowing down both Exist as well as GetRight as Keo decides to just leave the B bomb side and control up mid instead. That will allow for the retake, and Keo taking out Exist and Freiburg and look for the third. GetRight running through that smoke. For us, as we can see, is just on the other side of that wall. The flashes, the smokes, the nades, the Molotovs. There's no way in, which means Ninjas in Pajamas can get the plant down, but it's still a 4-on-1. 4-on-3, sorry. One in on the side, one back of the car, and one in upper dark. But EnvyUs is just going to come through window as well as door. Forrest turns his head at the same time he gets shot. Keo already on the side. It's up to Alu with the AWP. He gains. It's down 2. But can he get the last one? Backing up away from the nade. 22 HP. That bomb plant. Happy's waiting for Alu to have a look. But Alu's not going for it. That bomb is still on the exposed side. And
Still
Alu,
has time
he's
to fake it.
looks it. He's out of time. The bomb's going to blow up. So Ninjas in Pajamas, it's costly. It's really costly. They lose every single weapon they've got, but they can claim their second round on T.
Yeah, at this point, numbers are more important. Let's just get them up there and get the rounds rolling. But right there, I mean, you have to highlight this. How many times have we seen, yeah, okay, we saw Keo do it one round, but it's been NiP who's been missing a majority of shots that you would expect to go their way. And when a team already has your number and then the players themselves aren't performing up to that capability, that makes a huge difference. That should have been a lot easier coming through mid. So Alu bails them out late. As you said, very, very fragile economy. Resets the money bonus, puts them on second round, but they've invested around this op. They lose this. I mean, you're pretty much going to see them hit double digits on EnvyUs' side quite quickly.
Yeah. Which means NiP need these early picks, but again, Alu, he can't get it in mid. It's not even waiting for the smoke, for the cross. EnvyUs are moving very quickly. They're using a grenade instead to obscure the vision of the AWPer. That's why Alu has got absolutely nothing in mid. In fact, it hasn't been a single round where NiP have got the initial pick with the AWP when they've had it. It's just...
Guardian's probably the person who's the most consistent at getting the T-side pick with the AWP. A lot of teams actually have fallen off of using it.
Sorry, he's on the wrong team, man.
Exactly. But my point is a lot of teams haven't been as successful with that early mid pick. The only option I could say right now would be if Alu could pick off the player that is playing at that platform, it would be perfect. Okay, so they got the drop.
Yep. That was so important. Smith missed the shot. Freiburg still took a fair amount of damage from it. But it's allowing them to run up. Keo falling back into the side. As Ninjas in Pajamas, they have secured the mid, but Get Right in through the window.
And Happy was way off this time because he hadn't rotated around. Smith was the man to make the call. And when that player dropped down, he didn't spot it. So he actually expected more to come from Catwalk. That allowed them to get all the way to B before Happy even showed up behind them. So no lurk, no caught out players. And back-to-back rounds, that's the important part for NiP. Let's just bait him out.
I don't know if we're playing arcade-style games, and Smith isn't quite sure if this is Duck Hunt or if it's meant to be Counter-Strike Go. But they're just looking to save their weapons. There's no reason to engage. EnvyUs already have a nice round advantage. And money is going to get a little bit tight as NiP are getting back-to-back rounds.
Look at this. Freiburg's just waiting on the opposite side of the wall.
They both shouldn't look to peek. Especially now the time is up. Actually, I think Happy's on the run for a kill, but he won't get there in time. So the round's getting closer. NiP getting some momentum. Can they pull off what EnvyUs was capable of doing on Cash?
I mean, this is still a very tough position.
Yeah. 7
rounds already gone against them. If NiP want this, they pretty much have to win out the half. Again, we saw them get 8 on Cash. They're very similar maps. More execution required on Cash, but they have a very divided bomb site, a very important mid that can lead and divide each way. Wow. It's just more close on Cash in terms of smokes being more effective and the angles being more
Smith
direct. And again, and the score lines are similar. So if they don't get to 8 here, I can't imagine them pulling this one off. But NiP, there it is. Envy dropping down as Exist takes down Smiths. He did get him from the grave with that fire, but NiP's been answering back and
yeah, they're on
due diligence. Yeah, exactly. Get Right's going to find out on Happy.
That's also because they dragged the extra players down towards long, which allowed NiP to come in through Catwalk for one of the very first times. Keo still able to bring down Get Right, as MBK worried about getting done on both sides, which he is. And there's only one choice for Keo. He's got to be able to save this M4, or potentially not save the M4. Alu will bring him down into Pajamas now. There's 3 rounds back-to-back. Alu able to find these pickups, and they're actually having some level of play here over on long A. It wasn't really the, like, Smith was still moving very aggressively. Like, he's throwing down smokes, he's looking to play the angles of the smokes, and then Exist in the corner. He still went for the shot when he tried to push him out with a Molotov. Things just weren't 100% for him then.
So where they're on pistols, they'll go for proximity. They're going to boost up NBK. He has the scout. We've seen him in this position already. Tanked up Exist. Actually, this was on the eco they won. Was a very similar buy to this. We had Keo on the Deagle and NBK in this position on Catwalk. Hopefully, NiP's learned from their mistakes. Alu seems to have. He's already found Keo. That's the man who was to blame for that loss ultimately. But Shox is going to find one. He'll step up this time as Salut Wandig.
Is that Deagle? Is that Deagle again from EnvyUs?
What
exists? He doesn't know. He's just, I don't know, he's taking up smoking right now.
Deep and hit from Shox. He'll fall back into the site, though, not going to push through it. Freiburg's been spotted in middle. NBK's got the scout directly toward him, and there it is. He's already damaged down, so the scout finishes him off. That brings us back a little bit closer, and it's falling apart. NBK gets the jump shot on Alu. Get Right finally goes back into Smiths, but again, on an eco round, EnvyUs have the man advantage.
NBK trying to have a bit of a guess shot through the smoke. They're going to keep with the double AKs here in Ninjas of Pajamas, or are they going to switch out for the AWP? Shox with that Deagle also close in on Dark and Exist. He's too busy watching the double doors. That's why there's noise being made there. Allow Shox to move up if he wants to, but he's definitely going to hear him running through, and Happy's definitely going to see him running through. Using that AK, he is going to drop. Exist was able to get the kill on him, but Shox pushes up. Again, and Ninjas of Pajamas, it's another round up against Pistols, which they just cannot get the hold off.
A very similar buy. They got Keo that time, but Shox stepped up with the Deagle on B. I mean, they're just getting picked off. They're not even finding the trades. No obstruction of vision. And NBK with the scout, I have to say, is just ridiculous so far. Everyone over.
You understand why he didn't upgrade. He held on to it for like an extra 3 rounds than normal.
He's got it again here. I mean, why not?
He gets a glimpse of Freiburg moving down through mid. And again, EnvyUs. They're actually boosting themselves up in the mid. The jump gets the dink on the Forest. Not a healthy man here. And in fact, looking for the second one. That's another hit into Exist now. Happy takes out Freiburg, so they're unable to get through these mid doors. Alu finally able to shut down NBK. They don't really control the mid at all. A little bit of spray and pray through the smoke for EnvyUs. But they've already got their defense nicely stacked over on A. So if Ninjas of Pajamas go for this, well, actually they got to. They got the player down long as well. That's Get Right trying to look for the early hits with the AK. The Molotovs keeping the rest of NiP at bay in short, where Smith's playing up very, very close. Looking for the first one. Exist able to get the upper hand on him.
And luckily, Alu stays alive, but the nade's going to catch Exist. Alu, though, there's the key. There's your op on the entry. So Happy drops down. That's your backside of long A. Keo, though, responding before the player. Get Right comes around the corner, so he's a little bit late getting there. Does in the end, no matter, but 1 HP for Forrest. This is still winnable right now for Shox.
Forrest, all he needs to do is get himself onto that bomb site and get the plant down. Shox, his primary goal, kill Get Right.
And there's no smokes, no flashes right now for NiP to work with. None either, though, for Shox. So this is going to be a straight fight. Again, Forrest on low HP, and Get Right had to be the one to get the kill. He does.
Yep.
So NiP pick up 5.
They're getting enough to work with, at least for their CT half.
I mean, it's still work with is a very loose term.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard work. And, I mean, again, 7's got to be the goal. It has to be the goal. And they'll go for the op on Alu again. And he's got the cross this time. No, doesn't. It looked like he had the sights. Yeah, he had the sights up close, but readjusted on the jump and doesn't connect. So.
And now, even with an AWP up for Shox, they don't have a lot of weapons to play around with here.
NBK, though, all the way up mid, completely caught out Exist. They weren't ready for that at all as they got ready toward long. Now this means Forrest is going to come back over from the T side, or pardon me, from the B side in through T spawn. But he walked up middle completely uncontested. NBK went all the way up catwalk as he's been boosted so many times. And now look at how much time he's wasting. Even though he's not getting kills right now, he's already killed 1. He's given information to his team, and that killed about 20 more seconds on the setup. Luckily, Alu's going to claw back into Smiths early on because this gives them a chance to reevaluate the round.
And if Alu can get that pick off, well, unfortunately he's looking high on the A side where the player is in fact playing on the ramp, and that's Keo with that Deagle. There's still a small gap in the smoke. The flashbang is going to completely blind him as they walk through that gap. Nades very minimal damage until he gets hit. In fact, I think throwing in the smoke nade into him did more damage. The jump up reveals the position. The bomb plant still not down just yet. Happy's coming in through shorts. They do at least have the levels to work with here, EnvyUs.
Still a decent crossfire setup, though, out toward long A. That nade, though, does catch out Freiburg. That was your bomb planter. He was low HP to begin with, but this brings us back to 3-on-3, and Shox with the op wants to get up on top of the platform. Get Right needs to be careful. Luckily, Shox misses the shot from Get Right's perspective. Doesn't do it twice.
Problem is still getting that defuse off. Alu needs to drop here, and Shox goes to town, but Alu, he was the man playing on long. The bomb was exposed for the long A as well.
And he was very smart about playing long. He didn't engage in that battle until very late. He didn't peek until 2 players had already dropped because he knew all he had to do was be there with the op.
Yep.
And that's exactly the efficient play that they need.
Stop the defuse, that's all. Win the round, that's all. Who cares about weapons? We go into our last round, and EnvyUs, because they couldn't get the victory on that, it's a real force by Famous, Nova, as well as a couple of upgraded pistols.
A nice shot through the doorway. Still not able to connect, though. Went higher with it that time to try and catch off the player. Kyo, gonna look at this. They're gonna flash him and get aggressive. They actually do catch out on Forrest, but Alu's waiting on the backside.
Forrest should be counting himself very, very lucky to get out of that one safely. With the way the pistol's been working here for EnvyUs earlier today, they're lucky. Alu's looking for the secondary pick over on Platt, while Freiburg controlling of mid.
Still need to be careful, though, because the shotgun's in the hand of Shox, and it's in closet. But with that pick at mid, they're actually falling off of B tunnels. Yeah, because they could have walked into him. In fact, he's going to get impatient now and push through, but look at Get Right. He's just waiting for it.
Yeah, and with that kill, they can bring the bomb back over again, but at least they split the defense here of EnvyUs. Flashbang from Get Right, allows himself out, realizes there's no one at the back. Happy with his pistol, close range. He's the last man left alive, and that's going to be it for the round. 8 rounds to 7 in favor of EnvyUs as they will switch over to the T side now.
So we talked about work, having something to work with. 7 is workable now, going over to CT. But again,
it's still EnvyUs, and it's still EnvyUs versus NiP, who always seem to get back on top.
That's right, and Kyo toward B on this map is absolutely amazing on his entries. I have to say, in my opinion, he's the best B site Dust2 entry fragger in the world. At
the same time, you said Forrest, one of the greatest defenders of the B side.
And he's very efficient in there. That's right. So it really does come down to that first shot from Kiyoshima and how quickly NiP can adapt, because at the same time, Catwalk is going to be very strong from EnvyUs, and it's going to come down to Get Right if he wants to play it from Goose, as he's done on his backside rotation, or if they get an early read and he heads toward mid. They've got to adapt very quickly. And the pistol round actually went the way of EnvyUs to start out this map. It has to go to NiP here. We've got to keep this as a split, because if you lose both pistols, it would be a miracle to win the game. They're in position to at least put up numbers, but they've got to get the right start in doing it.
And even then, they're still only going to force it to a third map if they can take this out. But one step at a time. It's going to be the second half here of Dust2.
The encouraging part is they are putting up rounds against EnvyUs, because, again, we've seen in recent history they've really struggled just to get rounds. Here they're at least contesting. Some of the ones they're losing, even though, are very close still. And I know this is a very, it's GSL-style bracket. You've already got Fnatic in the lower segment, the lower portion, waiting for the consolation games, but at least this is encouraging for them to mentally get back into this, and they need to push forward in this half with that strong confidence that's going their way, because this is a 1-point difference.
Well, let's see how the points are going to go. Pistol round gets to get underway. Second half of map number 2. EnvyUs already leading by 1 map. NiP, all the pressure is on their shoulders. So Team EnvyUs, it looks like it's going to be a B play to start with. They've still got a couple of players. I was happy who's watching for the mid picks. But EnvyUs do look pretty prepared to go in through a 3 flashes, 1 smoke, 1 nade. Probably the nade to clean up the back of Platt. The smoke to make sure they can't do anything from inside the B site, and then the flashes for anyone who's sitting in short.
The damage already onto Forrest.
It's a hard life, man. But that's why Exist is holding on the box on Platt now.
Well, that corner stack at mid might catch out one. In fact, it does. So Forrest over top does get Smith. That's going to slow things down, but 3 players on the B tunnels. Forrest, there's your pistol master. He's got Kyo as well. Finally does go down in the end to NBK, and Shox will find Exist, but Alu's got a double of his own, and Freiburg collects the last.
Really nicely done.
We do get the double CT pistol side win.
Now they're just going to try and hold it. The SMGs can come up from NiP, and because this is the big money round from them. You pick up these SMGs, they're actually going to go with all 5 of them SMGs. They are looking to just pad their bank accounts at the moment if they can get these frags on EnvyUs without max amount of casualties.
And this is taking the fight to EnvyUs. You typically see them go pistols and get very aggressive with these Tech 9s. Now you've got the SMG to try and counter it. From that range, the Tech 9 still has a slight advantage as he fires back, and actually Freiburg goes down to 62. He lost that exchange massively as now only 12 damage dealt to Happy.
As Smith's actually getting tagged up a hell of a lot by Get Right, but still the first kill comes the way of EnvyUs. They're up on top of the A side. They just walk in on NiP.
There's no range game, but finally they claw back. Freiburg, Forrest each get 1. Bomb does go down, though. So EnvyUs got the money in that regard. Can they get more? Can they get the round? Freiburg dropping. That's your Tech 9 from Happy coming through that smoke on Catwalk. And Forrest has to be desperate. He wants to come in, does collect the first on Shocks. That's close quarters, but he's got to just tap away.
His friend is helping him exist. Pushing up
get
now.
On it. Yeah, just get on it and stick
just go for the defuse. Kio's only got 10 HP, so he's going for like the attempted picks. He takes out Exist, he gets the 2! And Ninja's in pajamas.
My goodness.
That went down the wrong way.
I applaud the thought process behind 5 SMGs. I don't agree with doing it on Dust2. It's far too open. You get a rifle out in either of those positions, long A in that case, or where we originally saw the exchange out toward Catwalk. I mean, you get a rifle there and you're going to win. I mean, that's simple. You're going to win those exchanges.
And the start of that round was the worst. When you have Alu as well as Freiburg dropping themselves down to half-life, going for that aggressive push up through mid. All right, not even through mid. They just had a look through Cat and thought they can get the win on the range up against the Tech 9. They instantly thought differently, so EnvyUs. 1 round apiece so far in this second half.
And look at the stack right now. Exist on top of the box immediately to the right. They're actually both up high above, but it doesn't matter if you've got stilts or not. NBK's going to find you, and he's got both.
That's a perfect flash. He's got a look on the door as well. The spray's coming out, and already Keo and Happy, they mop up Get Right and Freiburg. Alu's the last man left standing, and there is little to nothing he can do, and in fact, even Happy is going to scout him out and put that Galil to work. Okay, can't kill him with a Galil. Attempt for the grenade, way too far away, and Alu's on the run. Tail between the legs and just running for the T-spawn.
And I mean, if you could at least get one, it would be nice. There's not really much, yeah. I mean, there's no real loss there. It is what it is. They're already in a tight spot. Look at these shots from MBK on the way in, though. This first one tap.
And the prep flash that came out directly after it. So MBK just a small little turn, but Exist was blind as a bat as EnvyUs pushed in. So that box boost just has no effect whatsoever.
And it's one CCS 75 that I saw come out on the CT side, but for the most part, it's pretty much a full save. So they'll have to wait one more to answer. And again, we're in a similar situation where it was close at the half. We're starting to get these 3-round spreads from EnvyUs. That's exactly what happened on Cash, and NiP need to keep these close. They have to. That second round really hurts in terms of building up the confidence because now they're playing from behind, and they've done that far too many times against the French squad.
Well, MBK now moves out, checks the box, not going to be there. Forest point blank range on MBK, finds one. In fact, he's going to find a second until finally he's shut down. But he did at least get into a 2-on-2 situation with the rest of his teammates mopping up the mid. And what have they got? Down. They got themselves a Galil before they can come in, but only a Galil.
But they're going to come in from tunnels. We saw how that went for them on the T side when they came against Keo in this position. And again, he's just going to use this box to his advantage. And
with the flashes, they're going to go blind. Alu caught in the corner. Shock's waiting to go for the pickoff, and well, there it is. Keo just does all the work from Platt. And it's 11 rounds to 8 now in favor of EnvyUs. Ninjas in pajamas, this is their important round. It's the full buy round. Alu's got the AWP. They must get these early picks. They have to cripple EnvyUs. It's the only way, or else EnvyUs will just roll through this and take it out 2-0.
That's the big thing. I mean, another 2-0.
And Alu was waiting for it. With Forest as well as Alu together. They're running the double AWPs as well here for NiP. So Forest can watch the mid. Alu can go on his little bit of a run so on the sides.
Let's get right again. There he is. Already back off long to hold off these mid doors. That allows the second player to jump up inside to B. That's Forest. But with the AWP, he's playing it toward the window so he can still support Get Right if those smokes do come out. And that's crucial.
Here they come short. Alu's got so much work to do here. If he can't get these initial picks as they run out through A, up through Catwalk, flashes, nades, there's a drop down, but he's right in front of another T player, a CT player. That was Get Right that was there.
But Get Right wasn't looking for it. This is exactly what happened against... Okay, there. Finally, that's exactly what happened against TSM. You force that opera off the angle, and you're around the corner onto the site before you can even get a shot off, just by dropping down. So they do lose 2 men, make it 3. Exist does get in there, so just by staying alive, staying efficient, they give themselves a chance here. But that could have spelt disaster. Smith's nice shot on Alu.
Problem is that bomb is just too far away from them. It's down and long, which means they have to go across Forest's line of fire. So you might have the bomb, but now you're also being done from multiple angles. NiP, when EnvyUs pushed in just then, they actually never got a shot off. as they never knew where to attack, and then EnvyUs arrived and they didn't have any information. They didn't know where any of the NiP defenders were. They jumped in, they jumped down, they couldn't see anybody because they always had their backs to them, or there was just no shots that were covered by smoke. So, critical round for NiP, and now EnvyUs.
They did force, I mean, they knew Alu was there, but they forced him off. The problem is they didn't know how far out Get Right was, so once they got down that far, they figured, okay, he must not be anywhere around the CT spawn, and he actually caught them just barely in the back before they went around the corner.
This long pick could be good, but they're getting the crossfire up here. Freiburg, he's already going to be picked off, but Alu is there with Get Right. Now mop up. Get Right with 3, in fact, on the long A.
Coming up big late. This is where NiP needs to shine. NiP Magic.
You know, they needed that round more than anything else. To lose another gun round against the pistols of EnvyUs would have just been heartbreaking.
Actually, the frag distribution's even from both sides, and both teams have one man who's significantly behind. Smith's only has 7 right now for EnvyUs. Freiburg only on 6. So that goes to show that he wasn't really getting the entries he's known for on the T side. We'll see if he can come alive here. As Alu again going to go for this aggressive long play.
But no one's going to oblige him. Happy's the man who's just hovering over on long. But EnvyUs is looking a little bit more towards the mid as well as B side. And Ninjas in Pajamas already start that rotation over.
Exist fires through that smoke. So right now there's not a lot of room given away to EnvyUs. That's the important factor, because not only have they not given up damage, they've also not given up any map control. Still have one player pushed out long, but the second player supporting, that's Alu back in the middle of the corridor, and with Get Right slowly pushing over to B. Now they'll be able to hold this off, but the flashes are excellent.
Wow.
EnvyUs deep into the site before exchanges even go down. Get Right's there though. That's your key. He's on the rotation early. Shocks NBK fall victim to him. As Exist on the box and up above, doesn't even matter. Get Right's gonna make it a hat trick in Freiburg. He'll contribute to Happy, and we are not at 11-11. Toby, make a wish.
What am I wishing for?
I don't know. What do you want for Christmas, young man?
I would like a 3rd map with double overtime.
Okay.
Man, because
Have you been a good boy this year?
Well, sort of.
Okay.
But we're a long way. Like, the year hasn't been on that long, so we're all good. Man, NiP, Forrest should be very, very happy he had his teammates there. He missed both of those AWP shots, even though his flashes completely blinded EnvyUs' engagement into B. So they're going to come again, and again, this smoke. EnvyUs just can't see anything, and even the grenade hitting Smiths and Happy and Keo pretty heavily. He also got a little bit of a spill damage out to MBK. And they don't want to come through here again. Didn't work last time, so instead, more pressure. In fact, okay, well, they did. They moved like they were going to jump in, made a lot of noise in mid, then come back up, but Ninjas in Pajamas still have 3 defenders on the site. Exist in the perfect position just to mow them down. Alu's already going to get 1 now, and he brings in some help, and they just mow them down. Exist racking up the kills. And a flawless round for NiP.
Flawless anti-eco. Very important, because they had just broken EnvyUs. Now they're starting to build up their economy. This gives them a real chance. I mean, that's big. Even if their economy gets damaged there, it becomes a lot easier for EnvyUs to claw back into the rounds later on. Now we've got 8,600 out for Get Right. Doesn't have to buy anything. Yep. 78 for Alu. Similar situation for Forrest.
They go for the next 3 rounds.
Well, 2 no less. Yeah. 2 for sure.
That's if they lose him. Alu, there's that early frag over on Happy. Going on Smiths too. Alu really proving his worth in this second half. They need a little bit more though. Forrest, again, trouble for him. MBK with the AK from range will find Tim. Freiburg's now taking up his position, and Freiburg's going to drop. MBK hitting the eyes of NiP.
This is a change of pace, because now we have Exist that was playing over toward B that round. He's already pushed up inside the tunnels. The problem is that he may think that means they're funneled toward A. It doesn't, because Shoxy's gone all the way back through T-spawn and could potentially show up uninvited and unexpected. Okay, Exist has gone back, so he'll read this.
He's looking for that movement over to B.
Starts to hit too soon.
Yeah, but he still gets the kill. So Shox will drop. And here comes that push over on long A. But because there was already that kill on on B, Ninjas in Pajamas, they didn't really bring any support. Like Alu, okay, now he looks away at the wrong time. Get Right, there's a look back again. They had to go across Alu's AWP line. Get Right down to 7 HP. Got to keep himself alive and let the rest of his teammates do the work. Keo starting for the plant, waiting for the jump up. He's expecting Get Right to have a bit of a peak, which he's not doing. Get Right, maybe Keo doesn't realize how damaged he is. That Nate gonna do some work. Alu low, but Exist does the rest of it. So Ninjas in Pajamas, while they might be limping, they still claim their 13th round here.
And now we've got 5 digits out for Alu post-op. I mean, this is looking quite good. Forrest does have to reinvest, so he goes quite low. But again, 2 rounds still in the bank.
These shots from MBK made it so much more difficult for NiP. When you lose the 2 players like that, like, you might be feeling like you got momentum, and then you just get your 2 players snap back on the A side from a long-range AK.
It's interesting. Forrest this time does go back over toward B, so no spawn to play at A. He gets the op back in that position as Alu's the one that's up toward long. And just beyond Alu, inside the pit, we also have Freiberg. So good long aggression, but it also means a long commitment rotating back to the site, which means Get Right has to read this carefully from mid, and Alu has to hit the shots from the car.
Get Right.
That is, of course, if they go Cat.
Yeah, that is if they go Cat. Get Right through the smoke up there, so EnvyUs will be a bit deterred from moving out, because it's just taking them too long. Nice flash, Freiberg's going to get the vision. It's also a smoke, so as EnvyUs come out of here, they're going to be pretty blind. Speaking of that, another flash to come out from Freiberg at the perfect time, taking out Smith. He can't bring down Keo. The Tech9 will get the upper hand as the rest of EnvyUs have managed to come in through the catwalk line. It's a 3-on-3 situation. The weapons are in the hands of both of the teams. We just have tit-for-tat trade-offs. The plan is down on A.
Nice shot by Keo. That limits the retake because now Exist has to come in at such a hard angle, but he actually gets it against Kiyoshima that time, so that's extremely big right now. Shoxy's now stuck on the platform, just the op to work with, but they are still spread out. Doesn't matter. Forrest already finds them, and they're going to be on 14 rounds.
So close to getting these much-needed match points for NiP and a much-needed map win up against EnvyUs at a LAN event. More than anything else.
I'm going to get this in now because it looks like we're going another map, but let's not forget, we also have our sub-only giveaway.
Every NiP fan has just basically unfollowed you on Twitter after saying that if they lose.
We should have a third map, but in the event we don't, we'll get this done. So the sub-only giveaway tonight, of course, is for some HyperX Savage memory, 8 GB. And yeah, don't forget subs. You can get in on that, but we're not done here by any stretch of imagination. Alu goes for the Smith-style peek that time. Neither of them connects, so we'll remain 5-on-5.
Yeah, it looked like Alu actually hit him with a shin, but with no damage being registered, doesn't matter what it looked like. There's ninjas in pajamas. They just got to hold the line tight here. As EnvyUs are the ones trying to make the plays. 3 in mid. That bomb carrier still back at the suicide alley. But they're going to bump themselves up to short A. 2, almost 3 players moving up that angle. And Alu, yeah, he realized it. The flash to start with. Shocked at his back as he came in, so he's not blinded up. And NiP, they're not in a great position. In fact, they're not even on the A side. They've given over the site without a single casualty of war. There's only one player from EnvyUs that isn't there on the site. And that's that floater over on B.
I mean, this is massive. All in, all down, no damage dealt either way.
And Happy, oh, look at the vision he's going to get, taking one, coming in through the B side. Alu's trying to get that revenge kill. Exist will move up, and he can remove the pain in the butt from the back, but Freiberg, maybe he can get him through long A. The flash has come in there, but Shock's perfect position. Freiberg takes out one, taking out Smith. Shock still has the line here. Freiberg is going to drop, but the support's in there. Alu, they're not looking at the right box. Shox is waiting for it out, but the timer is ticking down, and Shox, he takes him! This will be the bomb explode. And NiP, they'll still have money for another buy. But EnvyUs, they get the critical round required. This means they can get weapons back-to-back in rounds.
Tried to play for the retake. I mean, they gave it up completely. They walked it off the site, came out long, and played the reverse angle. But that one player, Happy on the backside. Not only did he get the first kill at CT, sure, he got countered immediately after, but how much time? He bought them 5 seconds right there, easy. That your CT rotators can't join your long rotators. They then have to wait, and it just becomes that much easier for EnvyUs because there's that much more panic for NiP to get to the site. I mean, I
still find it unbelievable that NiP had not a single player sitting on the site. Like, Freiberg was your long A, but everyone else just jumped themselves down to CT spawn.
And that's the thing with this meta is that running 3 players early and one falling back. You have to control the drop because if one player drops down, you have your op in that reverse angle. I mean, it's so easy to push him off that spot, and then the site's wide open. One smoke in the boxes, you can plant it wherever you like.
Yeah. Now NiP have themselves a tighter defense, so you just keep Get right up there with the one flash. You can just throw that backwards when Alu sees them coming out, and that's all they're really waiting for. Alu's vision. There goes your first flash, but he's going to get picked off. Get right, there's your throw, blinds him up, takes out one, sees the second, he can't get the frag though! Brings him low, Shock down to 28, now Freiberg comes in, but he can't finish the job either! And NiP have only 2 players left, Team EnvyUs have the bomb on the side, in fact it's now completely planted and ticking, and they're losing players left, right, and center. There is that center, Exist will drop.
And I fully understand Get Right sitting around trying to get that second kill, he knew he had him tagged up, but Freiberg, that's a massive overextension, he's the only one left on A, both players from B not anywhere near him yet, and he peeks out against 2 players. Basically gave himself a 1-on-2 fight. He's down, the retake's not even close to possible.
And this is so rough now. Now you're 1 round ahead, but With nothing but CZ autos, you've got 2 smokes and a grenade for Ninjas in Pajamas. 1 defuse kit, but no armor on anybody. They just try and stack long, won't find anybody there. There was a 3 to do that, but they have to keep these close angles, so just going for these stacks isn't going to work. In fact, Alu, he didn't take any damage there from Happy. He's just spraying through the wall. As that nade is bouncing around the core, Alu, now he's hurting. 42 HP.
He might get looked off, though, as a result of this, though. Because Happy's done so much checking on it that he may just not bother checking the angle when he actually pushes through, so he may catch him out.
We've got our regular Tom Clancy sleeper cell right now for Get Right as he sits on top of the A site. But with the player going down as Exist over on B, they have to bring the help over. In fact, NiP, they're already rotating themselves through long A, and they have to move quickly. Forest has asked for help, and they're bringing it in from A, but it's already too late. Forest will drop. The B site belongs to him. Happy is controlling up the mid, and with the smokes, Ninjas in Pajamas are walking in blind.
And Happy's just waiting. Bomb does go down, that's iffy. He'll just wait even longer if anyone dares push through. Freiburg at least does get shocks, and they'll pick up the AK. That's their best invitation out of this right now. We're about to be tied on 14s. You've got a gun. You might get 2. Get Right, pick up that one if he can. If he dare.
Nip are already backing up. Nip are already backing up. They're playing for the 29th round here. All Get Right wants to do is be able to pick up that AK. That's all he wants in the world.
It's so far out, though.
Yep.
And Keon knows he's sitting waiting for it. I mean, that's obvious. And Alu's going to go down. So Freiburg has to hold on to this AK now.
Yeah. And a thing they can get into the next round that allows them to save some money. Because it's not just winning this round. You've got to win the next one as well. So if you drop these weapons, it's going to be rough for you. But the buy-up is there. So they hold on to the AK. There's a little bit of extra cash in the bank. It means there's an ult for both EnvyUs as well as NiP.
Remember when you said every NiP fan was going to unfollow me on Twitter?
Yep, you're screwed, man.
Yep, that's happening now.
That pick. And he's still unable to get the tag there, Smiths. And Happy, so aggressive up with the AWP. He's waiting for the box jump. But again, NiP, so much better with that smoke and upper dark.
And very interesting. They were going double op setup T side. So they're pretty much all in on this. I mean, why not? If they win this round, they're on 15. Plus, they get to keep those guns if they want to. If they lose it, their economy's already weak anyway, and NiP's on 15. So it's, I mean, this is all in right now for EnvyUs on this buy.
If this bomb carrier moves up for EnvyUs, Alu's going to get the pick of his life. Because all they want to do is just bring the T's down. Alu actually copying some decent damage. As was the grenade that came in. He's going to smoke and back it up.
There's nowhere to boost him. If he had even a boost there, he would have been able to get the shot at lower, but playing it solo leaves him so low on health, down to 47, like you say, from that nade, and he doesn't even play the backside. He's going to go all the way out to long. He doesn't even stick around to try and hold off from the ledge on Cat.
EnvyUs is coming in. 2 players through up a dark. They're not committing the bomb, though. In fact, there's already Exist bringing down Happy. Goes for the follow-up flash. He's expecting the second player to be there, which he is. And, well, MBK gets the upper hand again. Throws out a secondary flash. Support did rotate back in pretty quickly. That's Forrest, who's blind, but he's being attacked on multiple sides. In fact, Forrest gets the initial kill on MBK. The Keo came all the way up through the mid. The support just isn't there. In fact, Keo is just claiming the B site for his own. Shox is making sure no one can move in through tunnels, while the rest of EnvyUs hold up through window and door.
And what does NiP do? Do they try and hold these guns and play for overtime at this point, or do they go for it?
Well, I'd say Alu should look for the pick, but EnvyUs aren't giving him any opportunities for it. So Freiburg looks for the mid, and yeah, he's going to bring down Shox.
Now they have a chance to go. They've got that lurk player off, and they've got 2 men left up.
The time is ticking out, though. Smith gets the perfect view from plat to door. The flashes come in, not really blinding him up. He brings down Alu. Freiburg is on top of the side. He's battling from car as well as the platform, and they just basically get sandwiched. EnvyUs will take the round. And Ninjas in Pajamas, what looked like to be a great comeback, is now a match point for EnvyUs to take the maps 2-0 here up against NiP.
This was NiP's best chance, and they just can't close it off. They can't get away from it. They had so much economy built up. They basically lost 2 straight rounds with hardly even getting any kills. When it was 14-11, then 14-12, and now we're into this very awkward situation where they're on FAMASs. They do get an op-out for Alu, but look at how few grenades they have. There's your first smoke deployed out on B. Yep. Your second one now does come out over toward the A side. That'll hold off Shox, but that's it. They've got 1 flash on Forest otherwise, and a Mag 7 for Get Right.
And that's not enough. The flash might be able to catch out EnvyUs when they push into the B side, but there's no more control, so EnvyUs will be able to get that vision. Get Right's waiting for Keo.
And
there's the flash. And Keo checks the wrong corner.
That's a bailout for
Get
Right
for
now. But Forest, yeah, just got picked up 2. Happy, NBK both go down, so they do have the man advantage. As Get Right still waiting with that shotgun.
They're switching over towards A. What they might not know is the fact that Alu is walking around with that AWP. I don't know if Alu's even had one bullet fired out from that weapon.
If he misses even one of these shots, he's in a lot of trouble. Okay, so first one down, that's crucial. Now he's got a second chance, but it's Smith's going for the counter peek. Oh, he actually gets lagged up. No, not from the AWP. That's from the AK, so he'll be able to fall off the angle. But Smith's is still peeking out.
There's the second. This could be it. This could be overtime. If Keo can take it, no, he cannot. 15-15. We're going to overtime here on the second map.
And let's not forget, it is MR5, so we've got potentially 10 more rounds in this overtime.
Yeah, it's a long day for these boys. But NiP, they forced it to overtime. It looked like they were losing control again. And if they did just lose complete control, then I would not have liked their mentality coming in tomorrow's matchup against Fnatic. That would have been a real rough run for them.
I mean, that's the thing. They're already in the lower bracket. They again lose to EnvyUs. It would be extremely hard mentally for them. So they fight through this. We've got another map on our hands. It's still not done. It's still a tough task. Again, this tournament was going to throw up. On paper, there was no doubt about it. This tournament was going and is going to throw up some amazing matches the whole way through.
Yeah, and it's just very difficult to predict as well. Like NiP, do you ever really want to count them out? It's just a brand more than anything else.
And the fact that TSM came through as one of the top-seeded qualifiers because they went in the direct invite, they didn't have to play that last chance.
Yep.
It means now that they're through, you're going to have Fnatic, NiP, EnvyUs. One of those three teams is going to be the first out, not TSM, so we're already out of order in terms of rankings. It's a complete mix-up. Anyone could win. Any of these four teams can win this.
Well, it looks like the players are going to have themselves a short break. Obviously, you want to grab yourself a breather before we go into this full overtime, as we will also be looking like potentially the third map. These guys have been sitting around watching the games beforehand. I know NiP actually turned up a lot earlier
they were quite
than we were
early,
expecting. Because like I know you were telling me like normally NiP will rock up like 15 minutes before their game or something like that.
I mean, not to call them careless and yeah, exactly. I mean, they usually don't not hear a full match before. And in fact, they were here before Map 1 started with TSM and Fnatic earlier. So they've been in the house for quite a while. Definitely sat down on the Twitch lounge, watched the previous games. And I mean, they're definitely here to win it. There's no question about it. Okay, I'm being told we're going to do the giveaway now.
Free stuff.
The giveaway. Free
stuff for the subscribers as well. We're awesome for subscribing to the Twitch channel of PGL, because by doing so you also help to raise the prize pool.
That's right. Yep. So first sort of initiative for crowdfunding in CSGO, and it was a reasonable effort, and thank you to everyone who contributed to that. The team certainly thank you as well. But yeah, so like I said, it's going to be HyperX Savage memory, 8 gigabytes. And thank you, HyperX, as our sponsor for doing that. We'll give you guys a moment or two to get into the raffle. I can't see chat, but I'm sure they're going to tell. Okay, so I guess
I think they were already telling the raffle before, so we're too cheap here at PGL to have a drum sound effect. But luckily, we'll hit the draw button.
You can say it.
Mikulix.
He likes MIRC, I'll tell you that much.
Mikulix?
Mikulik. Yeah, we'll call him Mikulik. So congratulations, sir. You've won HyperX Savage 8 gigabytes worth. And
he's been a year-long member as well on Twitch. Rather a new kid then to Twitch.
Yeah, that is quite young. Yeah. Congratulations, and again, thank you to HyperX for contributing. We just still have more giveaways again tomorrow. I think we've got mouse pads, and I can't remember. There's a cloud headset tomorrow, I believe.
Free stuff is what you get. Thanks to our sponsors. Overtime is what we've gotten as well. As we said, it is a full 10 rounds for this overtime. MR5, not the normal MR3 that you see. As
oh, get right.
Yeah, well,
actually
then again,
still does damage.
Shox is going out to get himself up, though. So, NiP got a small little hole over on A. And EnvyUs, realizing this, they've actually backed themselves up over to B. Not completely, though. They're still holding in mid, waiting for a secondary option.
Forces Alu all the way back out to car as well.
Freiburg is very apprehensive about pushing through long A. Doesn't want to give another player advantage to EnvyUs.
They're going to go cat. They're grouping for it.
But at the same time, if Freiburg moves fast enough...
Well, Forrest is actually coming out to the mid side of the window. If he pushes down a little further with that op, he might catch off one or two. Now, keep in mind, economy matters. Yeah, you start out 16K in this form of overtime, but it matters a lot if you're investing heavily and there's 5 rounds. It's very easy to be broken, and here comes our exchange. Forrest gets the better of it. NBK already down, but there's the bomb up catwalk. Alu has to hold, and that first flash is going to force him back already, so they'll get beyond the elbow, well beyond the elbow, in fact, all the way to the site before the exchange is going to come back out. So this is a free bomb plant for Smiths.
Yeah, and they're planning in for the A defense. Very easy to do. Forrest still looking for that pickup on Cat. He's very, very low. Got that op. The Molotov's going to slow down that push through long A. and Happy's making sure that no one's going to come up behind them in catwalk, which means all the attention of EnvyUs can be pushed towards long. But Freiburg, he couldn't get the kills before in the normal rounds, but now with Forest and Freiburg combining together, they're able to bring it into a 2-on-4 as the shots come through. It's a 1-on-1 trade-off, and Happy takes the second, can't get the third. Exist will take it, and NiP, first round in overtime, gets to go their way. Exist might be hunting for that secondary AWP. This is one of these times too where you've got to make sure you hold on to your weapons, because you can be forced into ecos with this version of overtime.
And that's the big point. I mean, you're already got a double op out now for NiP. Yes, they picked one up. At the end of that, they recovered one, but it's so easy to be broken. I mean, Smiths, this is the second round of overtime. You started with 16K. He's on 4,800 already. Oh, yeah. Exist. Tagged through the door, down to 20 already. Yeah. So Smiths gets early damage going the way for EnvyUs.
It's amazing what was happening during the normal rounds. That wasn't happening then is now happening here in overtime. You're getting these mid pickoffs. And Freiburg is able to find kills as well. And EnvyUs slow push up through short A. They've still got that floating AWP of Alu watching on long A, but now he's going to move back again. He realized that push is coming in. Keo able to get through, and he gets the pick off over on Alu. There's only a semi-flash, but he still gets the upper hand.
The problem is it flashed him perfectly to just get out of the vision of the scope. If he was unscoped there, he actually would have been able to see him a lot quicker. So a little bit of bad luck. That'll give them another bomb plant on this A site, and Freiburg is still held in station because he knows Happy's on the opposing side of that smoke. Get Right does come back up, though. This is a good re-entry so far. There's the first on Smiths.
He needs more help, though. They need to have the extra fire coming out, and Happy on 7 HP. At least he's been removed. Now Get Right's going to drop. Freiburg can't walk through there. The Molotov stopping his approach. And it's just Freiburg and Forest. They do still have 2 flashes as well as the grenade, plus the defuse kits. But they can't have the people up. Shox and Keo mop it up, and that keeps us locked on the rounds. 1 apiece here in overtime, 16-16 in total. And now it's Ninjas in Pajamas that have to start digging into their bank accounts. It's the double ops again from EnvyUs.
Double ops again.
Look at Smith's money.
Exactly. Smiths was actually one of the ones that dropped. We already mentioned he was low on income, so now he's down to 1,500 despite winning that. So, I mean, it's still pretty close, but man, there it is. He's going to win that exchange. That's the pick he normally takes, CT side. Now he gets caught out. Happy gets Get Right. 2 men up right now for Team Envy on the T side.
This is so dangerous for NiP. EnvyUs can just start rolling here. Ninjas in Pajamas. Something big's got to come up. Forest is bouncing themselves over towards A. Still EnvyUs haven't decided where they want to go. Freiburg's the man defending on the side, and Forest shoots Shox as he tries to drop down to CT spawn. You realize Forest's going to be there. Keo coming for the mid pickup, and it's going to be on Forest, but Forest again able to get the upper hand. So the silent players of NiP finally making some noise.
Yeah, they're clawing it back, but they're not inside B. NBK actually has positional advantage right now on the B site. The bomb is not over there, though. That's the big thing, but he's actually going to find Exist, who wants back inside. Forest has to read this perfectly because he's got a player on either side of him. And again, NBK is still just waiting in there. He does get him through the box as well. What a shot from Forest. That's a hat trick now.
Forest should read the moving to A. Unfortunately for him, the angle he's moving, he can't shoot up towards Cat from down low. Well, he did before, but only when the player was dropping down. But he can't stop that plant from happening. And Forest, Happy, better line, and just leans it around the corner.
Nice peek.
Just pipes it. And 17 rounds to 16. Ninjas in Pajamas. Now they're very low. Very, very low on money. This is a full buyout from them. If they lose this round, they're on eco for the next. Yeah, or either that or a force buy.
Get Right is on 13. I mean, all of them are low. Alu's actually picked up a number of grenades despite going for the op. He doesn't take the pick this time. Smiths was already spamming away on those cross players, but neither of them get tagged up. So for the first time in 2 rounds, they're not a man down or at least HP disadvantaged in the first 10 seconds. That's a start. Claw back and tie this back up. That's also a start, as Exist will catch NBK through the smoke of the B tunnels, but the rest of them are on catwalk, and Alu's going to have to be strong.
Ali's done very well for his team so far in this map. And he's trying a different position, because Alu was playing the same position every single time. It was always back over towards the cast, but this time he sits closer.
This is also a change. The long player pushing out all the way behind them, so not only will he not get stuck battling at the long doors, he'll be able to fully get out and get the information. They'll be able to get trapped here on to the catwalk, but Alu's alone because Get Right, oh no, that's Freiburg, excuse me, Freiburg's the one that drops down. Get Right's the one on the flank. He does catch one in there. They've all contributed, as Alu will get Smiths as well, and Kiyoshima's the only one left. And Get Right's coming up the backside of catwalk already, so he might get one here. And that's all he's going to get. Answer back already from NiP. 17-17, and we're going into the last round of the first half of the overtime #1 on map 2 in our second series of the first night.
Nice mouthful. Perfect mouthful. Man, I love the smoke positioning. I don't know if that was actually EnvyUs' smoke that came out, which was perfectly on top of the A side, but Alu looking below it. So we saw everybody coming out. And EnvyUs, they were too busy trying to look up higher because you had a lot of spam coming out from the rest of the NiP players that were pushing in on, I say on top of cap. They weren't really. They're battling from lower on the CT spawn ramp. So patience from both Happy as well as Forest. Who gets the upper hand on the B side to start with? There goes your flashes. Forest, a little bit blind. Here comes the second. Still no one's going to flinch.
Battle of wits.
Now the smoke as well. Everyone's going to smoke. In fact, yeah, no one's going anywhere. The advantage going into the second half of this overtime looks to be too much, but EnvyUs is wasting a lot of time now. They're looking for the picks. They don't want to take any risk, but with 53 seconds left now, and still not a single bit of damage has been done to NiP. Actually, I take that back. Exist has taken 2 points of damage.
Freiburg does put out some fire. That's going to slow them down, but they push through it. Kio's gone around it. Down to 35 HP as a result, but it does give them positioning onto Freiburg. Meanwhile, Get Right has found Happy.
He's wasting time. If he tries to engage here, then it's just going to be a quick kill, and then EnvyUs can move up through long, but they just hold him back. 23 seconds left on the clock. EnvyUs have to move up, and they're just out of time, really. Smith is the last man left alive, and now he's been put down. NiP will take the last round of the first half of overtime.
So 2 T-sided rounds, though, going to EnvyUs. Back and forth the whole time, kept the economy in it, so it was full guns the whole way through. Remember, NiP did win, actually. Well, I guess they equaled. They each got 8 rounds on their T side. It was NiP that actually came back late.
Everything remains even throughout the series.
Again, though, you looked at the way it was played toward middle, the way that NiP tried to work up catwalk. They often were playing from behind. Again, it's early picks the whole map long, that's been the problem for NiP. Alu had... When they actually get out to that 14-round lead, Alu was the one that stepped up and had 3 or 4 big rounds that gave them that lead, gave them the economy that they had because he was getting picks early and then they were cleaning up, not losing a lot of players in doing so. But Alu's going to have to find picks T-sided this time, and so far this map he hasn't exactly been able to do that. And we saw Freiburg was quiet in the first half, so they are going to have to adapt very quickly to the defense that's going to be thrown at them. And they're going straight into guns. Let's keep in mind that they won the pistol round when it was their turn on T. That was how they got most of them, or at least the start of the rounds that they collected.
The only difference for this first round is there's no double ops from both sides. It's just 1 for Smiths and 1 for Alu. Freiburg failing that push up through long A. Forest now going to have a crack as well, but MBK doesn't change his position and doesn't change his advantage. Taking out 2 of the long A players from NiP. And more weight again being put on Alu's shoulders. He has to get this kill onto Smiths if they're going to have any chance at A, while the bomb is still floating over in upper dark. And no one's going to peek for him. They've all backed up.
There's no reason to. They've got the 2-man advantage. They can play out the clock. There's 1 player on catwalk. They've got players on every angle of the map, as well as 1 player aggressively out toward long A, so they're not going to get pinched. This gives Smiths full position to do whatever he wants at the car right now. So there's no reason to get right through the smoke. He's already spotted. The barrel of the gun peeks out just a little bit too far, and Happy gets him.
And now there's no other choice for NiP. They've got to go now. They're throwing out flashes, throwing out the smokes, and Smith's perfectly on Alu, which means he should be able to mop up Exist as well. Perfect shooting from him. And that levels it up, 18 rounds apiece.
Just a shooting gallery. 2 nice flick shots. The second one was actually quite challenging because it was only about the head showing for Exist when he went for that crouch peek.
Smith dragged it down perfectly.
And Alu again is going to be on the op. He's low on economy as a result because he bought into some hefty amount of nades. Investing into those in the first round, so he needs to find something. They need an opening now, or they're going to be actually in a worse shape than EnvyUs potentially could have been with Smiths in the first half. Speaking of Smiths, he's actually got the only op on the opposing side. Like you said, they didn't go for that double op in the first round. They won't in this one either.
I think Ninjas in Pajamas should be pretty happy they didn't give the second op over. because Alu died so far away. NBK so far up right now, and Get Right spamming him through the wall. Down to 4 HP, and he cannot finish the job.
And that's full confidence in NBK, because look at Smiths. They've actually left him out toward A. They're not even going for an early push to contest that. They're leaving it all to NBK to do the job. The other two will sit back. They'll cover off Catwalk, where most of the action has been in this match, it has to be said. And then if needed, they'll readjust the sights, because Smiths would then have the support from Happy, who's currently at Goose. So this is a whole change-up even from their first half defense.
Keo looking up to Upper Dark, needs some information as well as kills. He's going to get both. So Forrest will drop. There was no one else seen there, but Shox able to scout out the 2 players coming in from NiP. Freiburg gets the initial kill on Keo, but Get Right. Exist comes in through the window. He had support there. Alu wanting to plant. Exist gives him the cover fire. Happy's going to drop, which means now the plant can come down from Alu. Get Right's holding from up in top of Dark. Remember, he's got no life whatsoever. Smith's going to check the platform, back corner. Throw out the Molotov, expecting someone in the back corner, but he's not. Exist is back on the box. Or I should say mid on the box. And NBK can't get any information for his teammate. Looks in, spams around the corner. There's Alu already with the first pick off, and NBK reveals his position. He will bring down Exist, but Alu gets the shot through him, and the round will go the way of NiP. Neck and neck as we move through this overtime.
Very good timing on that B take. Exist came through the door immediately after a kill went out for EnvyUs, traded it off. That opened everything up. That's exact teamwork. Get Right, looking quite calm, quite collected. This is where NiP's experience. I mean, they don't get rattled in these situations. We talk about TSM, how pressure mounts against them. That doesn't often happen against NiP, although this is a little different. When you've had a team like EnvyUs bullying you in the last matches, it certainly does play in the back of your mind. No less, they're going to try and get back into this round. Alu with the op, already firing down toward middle. Can't connect on anyone just yet. And again, a very different setup from EnvyUs. No one in B. They're going for this stack up close on the doorway.
Yeah,
with a player up close on Cat.
Freiburg's aware of it. Like, he's looking for it, but even when he does, Keo still gets the advantage.
And as soon as Keo had gone down, Happy, this is it. He's already pushed up as well, so they're completely sandwiching him in mid before they can even set up. Alu's not at all going to be expecting him to be there, and walks around the corner. Easy kill. Can he get more? No. Forrest down below counters him off before he picks up the second shot up toward top mid.
So now we're in a 4-on-3. Edges of pajamas. No advancement towards any kind of bomb site so far. When you've still got like Get Right as well as Exist sitting up in top mid. Forrest, he's getting the smokes out. Flash as well, trying to make it feel like they're moving over to B. But instead of NiP, they're coming back down through mid. And more than likely a short A entry. It's the most defensible up against them. But at the same time, they have to get that initial kill on Smith. How have you meant to do that? Okay, they managed to pick up the AWP now over on Forrest. So there's a chance for it, but NBK watching in mid. And who's going to get this initial one? It's going to be NBK and a Forrest. Exist will get the revenge, but the crossfire with Keo from up on that B doors. He mops up the rest. Get Right and Exist will drop. And we stay 19 rounds to 19. Which team will get the match point?
Well, that's the thing. We're only going to see the one match point, potentially into a double overtime.
With the way it's been going so far, it's just been round. No one's been able to get back-to-backs.
And we're still going to stick with single ops either side. Alu not able to connect. So close, but yet so far. They will have information that 2 crossed because they could see both players on the front side of that smoke. So Forrest won't get aggressive on the peak. He'll just play passively on B. Make sure no one pushes through. That won't give map control away. And they'll play picks over toward A and in mid.
I doubt EnvyUs will want to take that kind of risk, though, in this round. Not until they have more information about where NiP are.
Or later in the round. They won't push until around the 45-second mark, usually is when they do. And in fact, that's when we saw Keo push through 2 rounds ago into the tunnels. And usually that's only when they've got to read somewhere else as well. They're not just going to gamble if they aren't sure they're at A or not. If they think they're at A and then they want to make sure, then they'll push that B's position. But early on, you're right. There's no way anyone's going to bother.
That commitment from NBK. He's fully committed to A long. Sitting all the way back on the right.
And I mean, look how that changes things up. By giving him long alone and giving him that trust, it allows Smith to play Cat. He doesn't hit that first shot on drop, though, so he has to go away quite quickly. NBK does get Alu, though. Get Right responds. This is a trade, and it's going to be Happy that's under pressure right now. Inside
the smoke, but he's still able to see Exist head through there. Same with Forrest. They cannot kill him off. In fact, not even a single point of damage. Instead, Freiburg and Forrest finding everybody else apart from Happy. Good thing he stayed alive for the EnvyUs fans. Freiburg is able to get up on top of the side, however, and he's going to bring down Shox. A one-on-one situation now. The smoke, the Molotovs, any bit of cover he can get. Freiburg, he's thinking about the plant, and now, yep, he's going to put it down. Exposed. Oh no, he jumps up and Happy kills him with a pistol! The match point's there for EnvyUs.
What a round from Happy. 1 bullet left. I'm sure there was only about 1 bullet left when he spammed through this smoke on this second kill.
You can see it now.
17, 9, 3, 2, 1. So he hit him on the second last bullet. Insane. And then he gets away. Freiburg was trying to bait him out, and he just wasn't. He's far too cool and collected in those positions.
I was worried with Alu's late buy that he didn't have enough money for a weapon, but he has enough for the AWP. As EnvyUs, they spend all their cash now. The last round of potentially first overtime. Ninjas in pajamas on the ropes. They're 1 round loss away from facing up against Fnatic in the lower bracket. And the only thing that might save him right now is these early pickoffs on EnvyUs. But there's just no opening. EnvyUs playing very, very defensive. They got every single angle covered. And they get a heavy commitment onto that long A, putting MBK back into the pit. Letting Smiths play this short. The flashbang comes into A, but it's merely a bait from Alu. While Happy, well, he's quite happy to just jump himself in. The flashbang, looking at the stairs, no one's going to be there. Alu, Forrest and Freiburg, they open up on Smiths and Shocks. Alu still remains alive after his little play in short. Keo trying to get more information about who's in short. Short A, that is. Can't find anybody, and they're actually rotating players over towards the B site now. Exist, looking to run in, throwing out these flashes. He's already pretty low. Happy's brought down 1, but now he's dropped as well. The 2 defenders from EnvyUs very much split. Then they're running in, and already Forrest opens up on Kiyoshima. We're looking like we're going to double overtime here. MBK's the only man that can change this situation.
And they hurt him.
Yep, he's jumping up on the box. He's right next to Get Right. Like, literally, they could smell each other's BO through this smoke. And now they come out of the smoke. Get Right sees him, and this will mop up.
Oh, Get Right.
Okay, well, balls were not found. MBK, he's still running low on time. He's going to battle up against 3 players, but NiP, if he's got a chance, they're all pretty low.
They are extremely low. A lot of smoke out to delay him and a good crossfire setup. He does get the first, but Forrest pops out. So 2020, we are going to double overtime. As our analysts came out to the desk, and now they can retreat back into Cubby.
Thorin really had that expression on his face. It's like, yep, it's over now. We're coming back to us, 100%.
So NiP survived the only match point in overtime. Good push through from Forrest.
But this means we're into the second part of overtime. I know the longest game in CSGO competitive history was played recently, but now with double overtime plus, I know we're not going to reach that point.
Yeah,
MR10, we could push it that far.
Yeah, you'd have to base it on rounds at that point, obviously, because MR3 count overtimes. It's a little different. So.
Yep.
But we don't swap back over. We start out exactly as we were, so they'll stay as we just saw them. That may, I mean, right now they're obviously dead even. We're into double overtime, but that doesn't really play into it. They both had a chance to warm up. You could argue, let's say, Dust, okay, maybe not the best example. Let's say we're on a map like Nuke, and you start out on the T side having just played it going into overtime. You're a little more fresh with the attacking side.
Yeah.
You might have a little more up your sleeve. Then you swap over. They haven't attacked in a while. The momentum's against you. You could argue that starting out on the hard sides in overtime where their economy is already just preset, you already have money to work with, that's an advantage. On Dust2, not so much, and where they've already just swapped over and each taken turns, that's gone now. So this is a straight heads-up map at this point.
It really is. Like you've burned through so many of your strategies. There's only so much. Like the boys from EnvyUs were saying, yeah, we worked out a couple of strats. Like NiP know us well. We know NiP very, very well. So we kind of know what everyone's going to do. But you're getting to this point now where you basically used almost every trick in your book for this. So you just start rolling through the moments again. It's all about like that. How much can we mix it up while still using the same strats which we've been playing against them?
And I will say on Cash, they actually mixed it up quite a bit from what we've seen in their previous matchup, or at least their most recent one, playing similar to Fnatic where they had the double op set up 3 mid.
Very defensive as well, which kind of like took me off guard too. Like Ali was looking for those initial pickoffs with the AWP and he couldn't find them just because they weren't in the normal positions.
Switching it up actually works 2 ways. Not only does it mean, hey, we got something different, then NiP goes, okay, this is different, now we have to play it different. Then they go, just kidding, we're going to go back to the old style for this one round. And then Keo jumps up over mid or something. I mean, it just plays in the head that they've definitely got full control in that regard because NiP's still reacting to the old setups. They're still trying to get used to the EnvyUs that was completely crushing them, and now they're trying things different. That said, we're in a close game. Not everything they've tried has paid off, and we definitely saw a switch up not only from the previous match, but in this game alone on how the defense was set up for EnvyUs, specifically at that A site.
Well, it sounds like the players are getting themselves ready and back into the game again. As, yep, we're underway for second overtime. 2020 is the count for it. MBK guessing the man that opens up the first frag on Get Right. Again with this attempt to secure long A. So they're coming in through short. Smith's with the AWP. He's in close. He's able to spot him out. So he knows they're coming. The flashes or the smokes, they're trying to keep him locked in, but the flash is also an NiP. They can't see Anthony. The smoke's giving him cover as Alu defending from the box position, watching onto the shot. Smith wants to jump over. He finds one, but Freiburg, while blind, is able to get the revenge kill. Then it's all up to Alu, the last man standing for NiP. The bomb plant didn't go down, and now he's actually down to the USP of Happy, and EnvyUs hold the first round here on the defense.
Good hold. Very good hold. Smiths was under a lot of pressure at one point and actually quite aggressively jumped up onto the site. He only picked up the one kill, but bought himself a lot of time. And the reverse play from NBK, so first blood. Again, though, NiP not going for full investments quite like we've seen, what we've specifically seen from EnvyUs with the double op. They're only seeing with the single. This gives them a little bit more economy, but Forrest is still quite low based on how many nades he bought. And in fact, okay, late switch on the op. So Forrest had the spawn to go for the early pick. He didn't find anyone. They tossed that over to Alu immediately after, and they'll go back to a default setup.
Yep. So then Alu could try and find that pick down. Well, he's waiting for the mid. They did a lot of damage to MBK on that long A side. As Get Right's just doing the jump, having a peek for him.
And they're responding to that. Smiths actually does come off A this time and comes out to support him just in case he goes down. And they'll go back to a default reverse position from Carr. That also then means Happy needs to be more away now. Look, he's already fading off. So that they are actually responding to just that damage alone on NBK.
Ninjas in pajamas, 55 seconds on the clock. That bomb is still just ticking. Well, I say ticking, it's not ticking yet. It's just beeping on short A, waiting for someone to give it some love. The Smiths with the flashes. They're just keeping NiP at bay for now. Towards both long as well as short. And Get Right's the man trying to come out with the Molotov flying out of the smoke.
That'll hold Smiths off the angle, let them get around the corner should they choose to go. They haven't just yet, but they have opened up the A side as a result because there's two players committed to the long doors. Second player from Shocks is going to be on your rotation early. Get Right does eventually take down MBK. Smith responds, and Happy's yet to be found. He's still on Goose. They haven't found him at all.
He's waiting for it. They won't probably find him while Smith is able to pick off Freiburg and Forrest. Now he reveals himself. Ali will be shut down. And it's just up to Exist, but there's no time left on the clock. 5 seconds is all he's got. So save an AK, maybe kill one in mid. He's actually on the run away here, and Shocks is chasing him into dark.
And he has to survive now.
Yeah, EnvyUs. So we see the biggest round advantage I think we've had so far in overtime. 22-20 now in favor of EnvyUs. And this money is going to start to get a little bit more tight for NiP. As you see Alu actually buy up. So what's he going to be left with? All the smokes and the armor. There's only 1,200 left in his bank account at the end of this.
And they'll go ahead and throw out fire this time to start things off at A.
Yep.
So Get Right won't have any ability to walk through and try and get an early pick. Bomb is over toward B. Exist already inside lower dark. He'll be joined in middle with Alu and Freiburg. Forrest is just waiting outside of the tunnels, in fact, and if he waits much longer, Shocks actually looks like he might push through. No, he's just going to nest himself into the corner.
Patience from Smiths until the flash comes in. He's backing up. No reason for EnvyUs to take any risks. It's NiP they want to have out in the open and blind. As Freiburg definitely doesn't want to come through here yet. Not while the smoke is up and not while he knows that AWP of Smiths is watching him. And that movement. The bomb for NiP. Forrest, he's still thinking about coming up. But EnvyUs has got such a tight defense. Now they come up through the mid. Exist. Well, they missed the initial frag onto him. That's Keo hiding in the box corner. Now Exist will get the corner. He thought the flash would come, but it didn't. Get Right's also able to find MBK, but Shock sitting very close on top of Forrest, and Forrest cannot win the battle here. And he even goes into Freiburg. He cannot win up against Exist. But we're in a 3-on-1 situation. Happy here on short. Alu turns his back. It's going to get shot in the rear again. The Ninjas in Pajamas way.
And he's actually super quick off catwalk already toward B.
Miss flash.
Because Get Right went back for him. Oh, what a shot up close onto Exist. Get Right actually went back for him, but very quickly realized he was too late and fortunately got back in position because that could have been awkward. That first kill goes out and Get Right's not there to trade it. It's one-on-one off inside sight.
That was such a quick move as well, dragging that mouse so quick to the right and shot in the groin. And now Ninjas in Pajamas. They do at least bring back the difference down to 1. Arlo again looking for these pick on the CT players crossing, and they bring 3, in fact, from EnvyUs over to the B side. So playing a very light A and mid defense this time around.
And 3 inside B. Inside B, not just a lead off and mid with a 2-1-2. This is a 2-3 mid-open split right now on the defensive side. Happy all the way, and he's toward window, so he will still get an angle to at least read on the middle if he doesn't find the first shot. But they're not giving up anything. They have full trust right now in NBK and Smiths, and why not? Smiths has been holding off on Catwalk brilliantly with the op. All they have to do is just worry about this B side. Look at Smiths. Taking full advantage.
That you only need 1 pixel, and he's got 4 there. Maybe more. But Ninjas in pajamas. Forest still making a hell of a lot of noise over on the B side.
But again, if they're going to come into A, they have to get Smiths immediately.
Yep. There's the first smoke. And still not seeing the rotation out. There's just 1 smoke coming out through short, but they're not covering Smiths. The Molotov flies in, the flashes as well. He gets the first tag with Freiburg jumping down inside the smoke. So unable to find the kill, but Freiburg still the walking wounded.
And Freiburg's just going to wait. Smith tries to pursue that. CZ's going to get him, but Get Right finds Keo on the opposing side. It's not enough, though. Happy comes through the window, and the 3 in B is going to hold it off. Or will they? Alu has something to say about it. Shox has the answer. 23-21.
And EnvyUs really just played the numbers game right there. The fact they had 3 players there, NiP weren't expecting that much reinforcement to come. So you get the kill in a minute. It's like, well, okay, now the guys can push in through upper dark. We've only got to kill 1 more. Wait, why is there a second? They killed off our mid player and then give support to the players pushing through upper dark.
Last time both teams picked up 2 on the T side. This time NiP's only got 1. That might stand to be the difference. And how heartbreaking for them would it be to come this close against EnvyUs after so many tumultuous attempts and now fall apart in the end of it. But
it's nowhere near over though. Like, this is only the last round of the first half of our second overtime. And Shox and Happy have already been picked off. Forest, Alu now as well.
So here we go. This might be the second round. This might be exactly what they needed. Because I don't think 1's enough. Keo's going to come back out in towards the top of boxes. We saw him there last time.
EnvyUs playing from such a low position though.
Smiths actually is going to get French Rambo entirely with the op. He's up close. In fact, they're going to boost above it. They want to catch off this crack, but look at that secondary smoke. They can't even see it. They'll hear him go through, but no line of sight, no damage dealt.
Yep.
Crucial. Freiburg going to get Smiths. Kiyoshima's all that's left. Bomb's going to go down, and NiP are coming from all sides right now. Kiyoshima has no answer, and we are going to go in as close as you like to half number 2, 23-22, and NiP swaps over to the defense. This is looking all too familiar.
Such a close game. Such a close game. And NiP, they had the potential to tilt during that half of the overtime, because it would have been so easy. Like you're back by 2 rounds. Like, well, okay, I think things are going wrong again, boys. Is this going to be map 1 all over again? But no, they kept their composure. They come in and they're able to pull back the rounds. They're still 1 round behind going into now their T half, which is going to be a little bit more. I mean, their CT half, so it's going to be a little bit more trickier.
Trickier.
This is what I'm going to put on it.
And the other thing is, as well, does EnvyUs immediately go to that double op buy that they went for last time? We saw Happy get very aggressive toward B while Smiths just sat out in middle, looked for that pick on the cross. Actually got it a few times in this match so far. Again, investments matter. If NiP can break them early, get them down. And in fact, let's go back to the first overtime. Smiths went for that double op. He was down to $3,800 after the first, $4,800 after the first round when the second round started. If they win that, then he's broken. Then they potentially could have picked up 3 on the T side then. Instead, they picked it up and managed to sustain the economy, but only just. So how much do they want to risk? In fact, they're not going to. It's only going to be the single op this time for Smiths.
This is a big push coming into B for EnvyUs.
2 inside the site, though. That's important. Forrest needs to turn around now, not get the name.
You got the Molotov down. You got the Molotov down, so it's hard to run on top of him, but they've already cleaned up the site. And even coming in through the doors, Get Right. There's not much more he can do. There was some nibbling damage onto EnvyUs, but not really enough until Freiburg's now going to come in. Get Right looking towards the plant. As you can see, Keo on the other side of the wall, getting that plant down. Smith's on the back of the platform. The rest of NiP have now rotated over. They've got 2 flashes in the smoke, that's all. But MBK throwing the Molotov right on top of Get Right in that window. There's no easy way in. They're actually boosting themselves up to get a look over it, and they're able to. MBK is going to drop. There was that 1 smoke that was there. And a secondary flash to come in, and Freiburg gets in. Can he kill off Keo? They actually clear the side! EnvyUs will go down, and NiP will level the rounds up at 23. What execution on the retake.
That was incredible execution. That boost for Alu to see up over top of the backside. That problem that they've had on the backside of platform just got completely countered up with some clever play. And Get Right actually fell off window. They Molotov'd it out. He fell back, let Alu get that pick, and as soon as that flash came over the top, both came in. Get Right from window, Freiburg from door, and they were pinched. There was no answer from EnvyUs. That was absolutely textbook play from NiP.
A wonderful spark of awesomeness, but still EnvyUs. They were a round up, so it only levels the playing field for now. And they're running a double AWP in this scenario. They want these initial frags in NiP. Open up the defense. Space out NiP. Smith, though, there's so many smokes coming towards the long doors. He's got no chance for the pickoffs. Once again, EnvyUs, I swear, the amount of holes they put in these doors, they should just be called the Swiss mid doors.
Imagine they were still the wood doors.
Imagine we're actually using the Frostbite engine on this. The doors would be in pieces. Alu, wow, that flash timing was perfect. And they dropped...
He goes one way and back the other. So potentially just checking the angle to get a read and see if the op's there. Alu's not spotted. We'll see if that goes either way.
Get Right. I think he caught a glimpse of the mid. Yep, now he definitely does. Pops the flash over the top. Smith's blind. Goes for an attempted shot, but more support comes up. Shock's not blinded out. And the Molotovs, the flashes, but there's no smoke that's covering Alu's line of fire. But Forest gonna look up. Keo comes with death from above, and then mops up Exist as well. He's got 1 HP left on Keo, but 1 HP is enough to stay alive and get that plant down. It's up to Alu as well as Freiburg to get these rounds back again. Happy knocks down Freiburg, and Alu's gonna almost save. He's actually gonna save this AWP.
And similar situation, we're gonna see double up come out in the second round this time.
Dead. So
get Alu, but now they also win it. They also get themselves that extra little bit of money that potentially, we haven't seen anyone, fortunately, have to save in these overtimes. That could have changed everything right there. Losing that round for EnvyUs, similar to the first half, would have put them so far on the back foot, T side, that NiP would have been in a very comfortable position. Now it's back to play for, and in fact, both teams, okay, so Shocks has 12, everyone else is on 4 digits of economy. High 4 digits most part, but still, it's dead even.
EnvyUs again. Heavy movement of manpower over towards that B side, but they leave the bomb in mid with the AWPer. That's Happy. He tried to go for the picks on long A last time. This time he tries to get it over on B. The fact that they're also using the AWPer over there should reveal a little bit. Shocks down to 8. If Alu able to get that pick, he's bouncing himself back fast. Feeling the push coming in through short A. He's got support on the site there as well. The flashes slowing down EnvyUs' approach.
It looks like an A execution just simply because of the fact that the 5th player is also out toward A long. They haven't dropped smokes on the backside of middle, so even if they drop, it's not going to be a split to B. But now they're fading off of it. So it's going to come down to this first pick. If Keo can come around the corner and catch out Alu, then there's a chance, or a pretty, I would say 100% chance they work it onto A, but they do have the defense split quite evenly, and with MBK through mid.
He's trying to distract them though. Get Right, held very tight on the A side. So he's okay, Alu's still there too. They lose Get Right, and there's your pick. Alu wins over Smiths, throws the high flash too. We're down to 2-on-2. Happy on the long A. And the CT sitting on top of each other on that CT ramp. They both got pretty well flashed up. As MBK would love to get the initial pick. Forest, there it is, but Forest wins out in that one. Happy, jumping around 3 HP, tosses the nade down. How much damage? Not enough. 10 seconds on the clock. He needs to get this plant down.
Or
jumps up, he can't get the hit. Where is it? Forest will take it with the bounce up. 24-24. Neck and neck through this second overtime.
He had to die before the round expired. If he wasn't going to get out of there, he had to die immediately. So at least he gets away, gets the money going his way. But long-windedly, where I was essentially going is once NBK got out mid, that first smoke came out. If they had to drop down with another secondary smoke, even from the long player, without the skyboxes, you can throw a long smoke that lands on the middle of the CT ramp. That gives your cat players the ability to flash out at the same time and drop down. Then you can push mid in a relatively new way, just based on that skybox not being there. And with MBK already out, it looked like it would have been a promising strategy, but instead they walked in and Alu just slaughtered them. As did Get Right, as a matter of fact, with 2 from him.
And now Get Right's going to team up with Forest, worrying more about the mid doors. Knowing EnvyUs have put a lot of pressure in this in the first 30 seconds of each of the round. They're not going to move through it, however. Get Right's getting really up close and personal. Trying to hear as much as he possibly can as well, see what EnvyUs is up to. NBK again is trying to come through upper dark. Going to throw out that smoke. As Existential just says, screw that, I'll throw the Molotov deeper. So they cannot run through. It's going to waste half of the time of the smoke. And now if EnvyUs want to, here they come. Here they come. Exist sitting in so close. Not a very close position. The second one back in the flashes. He's going to take out one, take out two. Look for the third, can't do it. Secondary flash, keep himself covered. Forrest is there to help him out. And NiP really tighten the defense. Happy with the AWP as the last man left standing. Goes for the quick hit. Can't find it. Forrest will wrap it up. NiP, they have map point.
And this is their first time with it.
Means so much. It is still only going to force a third map if they win this. They've gone through hell and high water to do this.
This second flash right here from Exist is so smart. He knows he's already countered. He knows he's trapped. He drops that deep. Smiths comes out, thinks it's going to be an easy push. Sorry, you're blind. Forrest is behind you.
All right, EnvyUs, can you force a third overtime? Or will NiP hold true?
And they go all in. Why not? Double op out. Happy with one. Smiths with the other. We don't need to tell you that. It's the same formation as Shocks does take the initial early damage down to 40 onto him. Only a Molotov in his inventory aside from a CZ75, but he actually gets the first kill. That's going to be Get Right to go down. He does get traded. Freiburg responding, and Alu's in a very different position this time. He's actually pushed all the way down into CT spawn. So this is looking promising for EnvyUs to get in on top of the site and get a bomb plant. Oh, Forrest unlucky. Pushes just in too soon, and Smith picks up the gun just in time, so there you go. Bomb's going to go down.
This is almost, this is a real hard ask for NiP, especially when Happy comes from behind. So now they're having to look behind themselves. There's always in time Happy will drop. So it's still 3 Ts up, and Smiths, well,
thank you very much.
This is one of those team building exercises. Walk over the hot coals. Unfortunately, that fire was still on, and now it's a 2-on-2. Keo, though, he's able to wrap it up. We're going to a third overtime. As we hit our 50th round of map number 2 of our second semifinal.
This is the game that never ends.
I'm not
going to sing the whole song.
Yeah, because all of a sudden I want to watch Lamb Chops play along, and yes, I understand exactly where that song is from.
All right, good. I'm glad.
That's one of the most annoying songs you could have ever have heard as a kid. But it's wonderful. I'm loving this CS.
Oh, this is it's a lot of diversity in the CS as well. We're not just seeing the same mistakes over and over again. We're seeing a change of pace on both the defensive side and the way the aggression is coming out. We saw B takes that over time. In fact, one from each team, at least one from each team. And a change of pace, Alu getting forced back. Smith's playing either aggressive, passive on the platform. We're seeing it all. And not only that, I have to say, the highlight for me in the overtime so far was that 3-man retake from NiP into the B site. That was so well executed.
I'd like to see someone just go through that and take a piece by piece of what NiP did, because that's something you'd learn from right there.
It's not even a battle of mistakes at this point. Everyone's playing quite calculated, which makes me think that the first mistake is going to be the costly one, or if someone can eventually string those 2 CT rounds together and break the economy, specifically for EnvyUs, because here we go again. They've got the double op out. Smith's happy with a whole lot of nades to go with it, head armor as well. They don't go for pistols, so this time they haven't invested quite as much. In fact, we saw CZ come out in the first half for them, but if NiP can finally string together the first 2 rounds CT side, then they've got a chance, but so far they haven't been able to do that.
So where's our initial pickoff? The Molotov?
It's Happy, so there's one off already.
Get right, look at the wrong way! Happy and Smith both get the pickoffs with the ops. Exist is right in front of Happy though. They should know he's there. He's worried about who's coming in from the side. They're going to walk into him. They turn their backs, but Exist waiting in the smoke, takes one, can't find the second. Shocks will be able to clean it up. And again, NiP looks like they're going to be playing from behind. Alu's getting flashed out, but NBK is about to kill him like a hawk. Right, death from above. Freiburg, the last man left standing. Maybe he can at least take some of these weapons off EnvyUs.
That's the victory he needs.
NBK still waiting for him. He's going to move into upper dark, the nades.
And he actually gets one of the ops. So that's even more important, because that's the bigger investment.
Yeah, they're moving over to pick up that AWP, however. So he shouldn't be able to hold on to it, but Shock's going to drop. That bomb plant is still ticking down, so it might force EnvyUs to sit on the side at least, which means they're going to bring themselves into a position where they could potentially die. Not going to happen though, but it is one op down. Do they get there in time? No.
No, he doesn't. NBK doesn't get there, so he does get one of the ops. Just Happy go for it again, he does. So now he's down to 58, so even though they lost the round, they still have one player that's at least fragile.
And Ninjas in Pajamas still playing from behind in the rounds is so hard.
And look at Alu though, 34 for him. So if Envy win too, it could be the exact same situation in reverse. Just started off early with a broken economy. As Happy's going to go right back over toward B. He's had good success with his op there. Shock's already pushed down into middle. So there is 2 players beyond the wall, both inside the B site. And that is Forest. Actually, okay, so now they're going to fade it out. Now they're going to go back to their traditional play. Get Right's rotated back over from the initial 3 push. Forest is going to support them. That leaves Exist to be all by his lonesome inside the site.
Smith's on that jump up. Like, they're boosting him in so he can see over the top of the smoke indoors. Alu try and spray through it. Happy. She dropping down low, and now out comes Smiths. Alu missing the shot at point blank. I say point blank. For an AWP, that is. And now the jump out from Shocks.
And again, he just pre-flashes it and checks.
Yep.
He's trying to bait out a shot right there.
I wonder if he's also trying to bait out some flashes and smokes or nades, anything which NiP have that will stop EnvyUs when they push in as a proper team. MBK, he's getting a lot of information here in mid. Forest up with the boxes. They're going to see each other for a moment. Forest wins on the battle here. And EnvyUs down to 4. They're still coming in, and Alu, he needs this initial hit. And, well, it's a little bit of a tag. Happy's not too healthy. Another flash and Get Right. Again, this is the second time we've seen this during the overtime. The perfect flash. And, well, he can't finish the job here. Alu's is right next to the bomb site. Shocks blinded again. He's trying to play the AWP at point blank. Exist.
Just stay alive. He just needs to not peek. Shocks is actually going to get Freiburg over top of him.
They're all playing from low. Baiting out the plant. Shocks takes a second.
Look at the reactions.
Looks for the third. He can't do it. That looked very, very shaky as the end for NiP, but still, they take the round as 26-26.
And they'll get the op back, but it would have been very nice had they not lost that many members at the end of the round. No less, they escape the tight situation money-wise for at least one more.
Yep. But EnvyUs aren't anywhere near that. Look, like Smith is now buying him. He's still got 10K on him. So EnvyUs have to lose 2 rounds in a row.
And full nades with that 10K. So, I mean, he was fully loaded at the start of the round. Happy does get smoked off this time. Won't get the first shot. Oh, that was close, though. Won't get the first shot onto Exist.
I was going to go for that last one through the smoke, too.
That would just be insulting. So discouraging and frustrating for Exist if you get caught by a random stray bullet.
Wow.
Shocks won't get random, though. He's going to go ahead and take down with a calculated headshot on to Get Right. Forrest has to hold that flash. Going to force him to the wall. Does he escape damage? No. Shocks comes around just far enough. And MBK is already in through the smoke. B is wide open.
That was the perfect time to push as well. The smoke was there, and he basically had Exist worrying about both of his fronts and backs. It was impossible to really get in, and now, well, maybe Freiburg, well, he's able to pull off 2 already. Alu needs this smoke to clear before he can really help out Freiburg, and, well, that's going to be Keo flagging himself, and Alu really needs to hold on to this AWP. He's already backing the hell out of there.
He has to, yeah, I mean, there's an understatement. He lose this, he's on to, I'm not even sure he can afford a FAMAS right now.
I love the inscription on the AWP, which doesn't belong to JW.
I like it.
JW is good, but not the best.
Good, not best.
I'm guessing he ran out of characters available on the tag.
It's a Twitch chat thing. They don't use proper grammar. Kenny S good, but not best. JW best.
Right. Syntax fails the modern era. All right, so EnvyUs. Then again, I haven't had that much diversity in my words during this overtime. Can Smith finally get the early pick off? He did. That's Exist down to 14. That's not the pick, but it's still that earlier damage.
Shocks is already down middle. Onto the catwalk. If he comes around the corner, catches Alu off. No. Can't do it. Alu holds way too strong. He actually stays on the ledge as well. Doesn't even drop down, so he's in position to get a second shot up close before he'll have to retreat to cover.
And not something which EnvyUs would probably be expecting. Normally it's been fire and maneuver for all the AWPs in this game.
Fire, maneuver, and play from a backside angle. The only time he actually played this and went for the drop was the round where, I believe it was Get Right, went down behind him and he got completely strangled out inside CT. In fact, that was the last round of the second overtime when they were playing for match point. But he goes back to the position regardless. Get Right's actually going to be the one that jumps up on the boxes, gets even closer, but...
He's spraying at Smith. They know he's there. That's why just tossed down a nade to Get Right. It only takes 2 points of damage. But Alu's waiting for the jump out. Wow, that was a high jump. Also high flash to come out from Alu. Get Right still able to kill off Smiths. And with a secondary flash, Alu feels like he can have another look. Getting flash himself,
Flashed
however, he decides
everyone.
not to.
He flashed Get Right as well down below, so all 4 players had to back into cover.
Keo's moved out. He's a long way out on Cat, in fact. They smoke on the plant, but Alu's waiting for the move, and there it is. Keo will drop, and happy with only 24 HP. Alu's going to get himself another one. 3 for the round, and Ninjas in Pajamas. It really can't go more than 1 round a pop. 27-27 of the rounds.
Again, good rotations from Alu. He gets the shot up close. This time doesn't get trapped inside CT. Comes up immediately. Get Right stays alive. Doesn't play it from Goose this time. Comes up from below, supports him. There's no one that's going to go from the drop. Alu just has to hold station. It's exactly what happens. So it's, I mean, this is calculated. No one's really giving up too much. There's not a lot of mistakes, except for maybe Shocks going through without a flash to support him. So Alu gets the free kill there.
Yeah, that's the first time we've really seen a more of a casual kind of push in. MBK's at least able to kill off Exist, but Forrest hiding in the box. He doesn't know that Keo's going on the side. Now he will actually look over because the remaining players moved in too, but Forrest low on life. Alu now brings in the AWP again.
That's your bomb drop, so this will delay the push regardless. They're going to have to pick that up on the way across and invest one more person to jump across the doors, and Freiburg's through the door in the flash. Yet another take over the wall at B, and NiP had the lead this time as they head into the second half.
And they're going to hold it. They're going to hold it more importantly than anything else right now to actually have a 2-round advantage or something that adds more pressure to EnvyUs. Because right now it's going to get to a point where these players, they're going to get tired. You've gone over 50 rounds already on the second map. So you've already gone through the pain of the first map.
Tired.
And EnvyUs is sitting there going, well, we're getting late into the night too. And if we lose this, it's a third map as well. All of this is going to start to weigh on your mind.
Massively. I mean, look, the other thing about this is that if Envy win this, it's over. NiP still have to play another map if they... in other words, both teams, yes, they're going to be tired, but NiP's still the one that has the pressure on them even after pushing this far. And you think mentally for tomorrow, they come that close. No matter what, no matter the storyline between these two teams or not, if anyone's this close and this deep into a game and you lose, I'll go back and make the reference to the Dota match we saw earlier. Cloud9 won the 98-minute game or whatever it was, and then Team Tinker just look exhausted in the second map. They can't come out. Mentally, you get worn out in these positions. So the third map's going to be extremely hard for both these teams, but you have to think NiP, they don't win this tomorrow, it's just going to weigh in the back of their mind that they came that close yet again.
Yeah. But let's see what happens. We're still working through our overtime. Forrest is the first man to take some damage, as Alu trying to be as patient as he can on these A-long doors. There was a problem for NiP over the last 2 overtimes in that first round. They try to push out and get control of long A. This time they're playing a lot more passive over to that point and allowing Freiburg the space to push up through short. Team EnvyUs is also worried a little bit more about the B side. They're going to move Happy back over to A, however.
And they pulled Keo out. Normally they have been running in that position where they have 2 inside the site.
It's the right choice, though, because NiP are coming up through short. And Smiths, again, like how many times have we seen the importance of this initial frag coming through Cat? The smokes are perfect, though. He's sitting up high enough, he's still got the vision, and there it is, Freiburg taking one to the gut. And looking for the second. Can't really see it, however. Now Smiths jumps up, and oh yeah, he couldn't see him through the smoke. But NiP have had enough of this. They're backing up through mid. At the same time, look at that flank. MBK is the man who's doing it. He's coming in behind him, so now NiP have no choice.
And this is NiP's first time with the double ops, so they're going to be the ones that are fragile, and complete perfection from EnvyUs. You have to wonder, knowing the read and the rotations that EnvyUs are performing right now, with Happy leaving mid early, no smoke out at all to try and even make them consider that it might be a B push, or at least to deter the view from the 2 players out of B late in through CT. If they throw that smoke, does Happy stay? Because if Happy stays at that point, then you've only got 2 inside the A site. They don't even go for it. Again, yes, I can understand they don't know what we know sitting here watching Happy's positioning, but you have to wonder what something like that, in a tense time like this, just that little bit of hesitation, if that would make that much of a difference.
And I think every little bit makes the difference to win this map right now. But EnvyUs, they're the ones to take again the first points of damage, so Shock's down to 49. But NiP, they're going to come in through the mid. Shocks is still keeping the top of Dark pretty well restricted. So even if NiP do come up through mid and then try and attack in through the window and through the B doors, they're still going to have large amounts of problems because they're not getting the flank to come up through upper Dark.
Naked take on middle, only a flash through, late smoke to come out. Nope, gonna be a Molotov, so Happy's gonna get forced back. He'll just do the same in return. Anything you can do, I can do at least the same. The smoke's gonna come out to
They're abandoning B.
Extinguish the first limbs. They are. Yeah, Shox is gonna come out to support because Happy wasn't in position on the box. So,
but now he comes back in again. You've already got Forrest over on the car and Shox. Now it's up to the CT retake for EnvyUs. Happy is at least able to even up the odds a little bit more, but get right. Work it in the mid. Slowing down this movement from EnvyUs to get back into the site. The smoke's making it very difficult for Smiths as well, but MBK now we're into a 2-on-2 situation. The flashes to come exist. Back plat hitting MBK pretty hard. Only down to 74, however.
Smiths
and now they got him
so far away.
He tried to run up. He switched over to the pistol as quick as he could.
Well, I think he was expecting someone to cross the doors to go and challenge NBK in the tunnels because he was sitting back towards CT with the op.
There's a team flash. Exist actually got blinded up by his own teammate. Does some considerable damage, but Exist is still alive on 2 HP. He didn't finish the job, Smith. Now he will. The time is ticking out. He's looking for the hit. And now, well, Freiburg, solid to the end. The bomb will explode. They only hold on to the AK for NiP, so it's still an expensive gun round for them, but they get the round victory. And again with the NiP, 1 round and they'll have themselves 2 map points.
That doesn't mean anything in this game. We've already seen that.
Yeah, it really doesn't mean jack.
Well, Monster Energy sponsors EnvyUs. We'll see if Alu drinks his Red Bull and they drink their Monster because they're going to be running out of energy at any time soon.
Yes, Alu, the Monster is there for you to drink.
Alu's going to be the man we got it locked on. Exist already going to find NBK, and that means Keo's going to be run out early. Smiths does catch Freiburg. This time again, changing his angle. They're going for every possible approach to this match because he's up on top of the platform. Flash comes out. He's completely blinded, and he's going to get taken down. It's Exist from long. This gives Forrest the chance to get the shot, but he won't. Keo counters back. Bomb does get dropped, and Alu's very low, and somehow EnvyUs have pulled herself back into this round because this started off very well for NiP on the entry.
It was Happy. Happy was still there, sitting, I believe, inside smoke on long A. They didn't see him. They walked up through long A, and then Happy started attacking them from behind. It caused a crossfire. Now, Alu's going to plant for the long A position, which Shox is about to try and retake.
And the thing is that Alu has the op there, so if Shox does check the pit right away with the M4, he actually has the advantage up close. He's not doing it.
He doesn't check it. And now that means Exist can get the... Oh, no, he doesn't get the kill. Now he will.
My mistake. I thought it was Alu that was inside. I just assumed with the op it was actually Exist. So
one-on-one.
AK from this distance, but HP advantage does go to Keo, in fact.
He knows the plan's so exposed, so he keeps himself down. Exist needs to look, and there it is. Perfect shot. And Ninjas in Pajamas, 2 map points.
This is the best
closest
chance
they have been in this map.
Well played, Exist. Timed that to perfection and hit the headshot. No jitters there.
59th round. It was really on target too. Like he knew the site, pushed up, looks up, and then it's like, okay, yep, there he is. Bomb, 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 bomb.
And I do believe that was at least a 3. That might have been more than that. That might have actually been an ace for Exist. I'd have to look back on that round.
I'm sorry, I didn't look myself.
Because he caught the player out from long. I'm trying to think from the initial position. Anyway, it doesn't matter at this point. They've all got a number of frags. They've all got stats padded at this point. As NiP, like we say, with the 2 match points, Keo's getting a little bit unorthodox, standing in the middle of the site this time, hoping that the flashes will go beyond him and the smoke won't get deployed quick enough, so he's playing ahead of it. NBK going to do the same out toward the long doors. And again, they're going back to this passive A setup, giving all the trust to him. That means Smiths actually on Goose this time, so they'll change it yet again. It's actually going to be Happy that's down at the top of the CT ramp. They've swapped those 2 around, so yet another combination coming out defensively. But no more mistakes can be made.
NiP's burning a lot of time for this. They're waiting for the openings. Happy's just going to start banging through the doors. The flashes, the smokes, get right's out though, but then Happy shuts him down. Now the push is coming in through short A, so Smiths, as they get the initial hit, you're not going to see NiP move slowly. In fact, it's a quick move, and Alu's the one to get it down MBK, but Happy just so strong until finally there's help coming in from Alu on long A. But what's he going to do? The bomb is down on Catwalk. He's got 20 seconds to go and 3 players to get through. Impossible, I ask? Yes, the answer.
So doubling up the op set up on A early on the rotations brings them back in. No answer.
Second last.
That time.
The last map point they've got here in our overtime.
I mean, you think you can't counter out Smiths. He's already on Goose. They flash him off, and then it's, oh, sorry, another op already there. Happy plays the reverse angle. And, I mean, again, Catwalk, this particular match, Catwalk has been I mean, if we had a heat map brought up right now, you couldn't even see Catwalk. It would just be a glowing red surface where all the action's gone down. I've been actually quite shocked at how much has gone there, and it's actually just based off the read that mid hasn't really been accessible for either side. There's good presence there from both teams. This is an interesting lineup, I have to say. It's
terrific. I also appreciate Dust2's, he's already back with the pass. Like, yeah, this is going to be over, wasn't it? No, it's not. Not yet.
I'm gonna tag him in here. If this keeps going that long, Natsu's coming in for me.
No, find some stamina, man. I don't know how they breed him in Canada.
Oh, good flash. Drops off, though. That forces Smiths off the position up close. He hasn't actually played there in, well, I won't count back at this point. I can't count that high to begin with. So he hasn't played there in a long time. So that might have gone off NiP, but that one flash discourages them and gets him off the angle. Little differences like that can just make all the difference. Because now, look, they're up Catwalk again. They're going to come around the corner, though, and Happy's here, as is Smith, so both ops are going to be in position.
And they see him. Smith opens up. Happy as well. EnvyUs have the advantage here. They're actually turning their backs as well. In comes NiP. Shox can't see the target. Can't actually even hit the target either, but Alu is able to drop him down. He's
tagged through the door by Smiths there, and then Keo does all the damage. Actually, I'm not seeing an assist, so I'm not sure he did get that tag. It looked like he might have. Regardless,
it's all up to him. He takes one, is looking for the second, dropping him low. It's now a 2-on-1, but that's it. We're going to quarter overtime. 60 rounds in total. And this is the game that shall refuse to end.
I'm just going to laugh at this point.
It's
what
wonderful.
else can you do?
Loving it.
You have to wonder. I mean, NiP did try and play that for a split. The bomb did go in toward B that time, but the one player up in the corner completely catches them off. They do too much damage on the entry. They had both ops and a third player, NBK, already over on A. They had them fully forced off that B site, and you would have thought if they could find one entry and get the bomb down, there was a chance, but even that doesn't work out for them. At what point do some of these teams just throw a Hail Mary and go all 5 out middle, play picks and rush a site, get the bomb down?
Dude,
because right now,
you've committed like 2 hours of your time here. You are not going to throw it away with a YOLO.
Well, I mean, Catwalk, at some point, someone has to change it up, because Catwalk, we're seeing the same story over and over again. It's the ops on the reverse angle, specifically.
But at the same time, the same story keeps you even. It's
okay, I guess it's true if you want to play conservatively, but I mean, if you've got both ops on the A site, there has to be an opportunity for it.
Right now, everything can be red. With the amount of money you've got, there's no reason to take this risk. When you're able to find these early pickoffs, you just have confidence in Alu. You have confidence in Smiths to do their work.
But again, if Happy's on the op, the most effective player that they have on the mid to B split on countering that out is Happy on the boxes on a quick rotation. If he's got the op, he's so far away, first off, can't get into that position, and second off, doesn't have the close-up firepower of a rifle. You have to think that NiP would have read, potentially, I mean, if they were aware that they were going to run that play twice, that there's a chance to get out mid, and then they just have to split onto the site.
I can understand your point. All right, NiP, 1-man advantage. They brought down MBK, which means the long A is pretty open. Get Right wants to try and come through here, but I don't think he's realized that Smiths has moved in very close with that M4. So using the smoke to his advantage here. And Get Right, there's no way he wants to come out in this. He knows it's suicide if he does. But how long does Smith want to wait? They're both going to walk in. Quick peck on the cheek. They're so close! And it will be Smiths dropping down to Get Right. And now is EnvyUs in trouble until Happy. Get Right, for all that hard work, he just gets picked off while the rest of his teammates now coming onto the B side. You do have Shock showing himself in upper dark. Trying to enter into a gun battle, Happy. Oh, what do they do from here, EnvyUs? Like, does Happy wait for a peek? NiP is not going to oblige them. They want the round more than anything else. Weapons don't matter if you can win it, and there's Alu bringing down Shocks. They've also got an exit strategy now. Happy try to find the corner, but he can't do it, so back it up, try and save the AWP. And this is something that NiP should hunt for. Is this going to drop? If they can still hold on to Alu's AWP, then they're okay.
Yeah, if they're going to hunt, it has to be forced to go, because if you lose the AWP yourself, you're in the same situation. And that's exactly the case, so just hold station. At this point, Alu can't chase. Let it expire, take the round advantage.
Yeah, but Happy will get a nice little injection out. He gets a couple of kills. I know it's only kills with an AWP, so it's not worth that much. But still, burns through a little bit of the cash of NiP. But when you're already looking now, look at Smith's 3.5K, and we're here in the second round of overtime. This is not the situation you want to have if you're Smiths. Like, Alu? Yeah. Someone just turned him around a couple of times, then point him in the right direction.
Probably had to stop to stretch out his fingers at this point. Carpal tunnel would set in on this amount of time.
Oh, exists. Good frag already. NBK again. He was the initial hit that NiP got in round number 1 here of the 4th overtime. And it happens again.
We're even back up. Freiburg still looking for a careless peek at mid. If anyone dare walk out. And it's actually Happy that's going to get up on the ledge this time. So we haven't actually seen that pick occur. Yes, we've started to see them lead off into that position, but it never actually has come to fruition. So he can still hold that and might catch them off guard. Shocks, look at the information and funneling that he's doing to the offense by already getting into upper dark. This forces NiP's hand. They're all the way over toward A. In fact, 3 going to come through long. This is a slight change, and it's Smiths that's holding, not NBK.
And it's a different position.
Rifle, not an op.
He hasn't used that position yet. Okay, now he's going to drop down with the flashbang because he was getting a little bit too revealed. The Molotov comes in, forcing him out of the pit, but the flashbang is from his teammate helping him out. Happy also still trying to watch on that short area. Freiburg, they get the outside while Exist. Happy's going to drop. Keo's down CT spawn, and it's up to Keo as well as Shocks 3 on 2. Shock's trying to keep these flashes up, allowing his teammate to run up through the CT ramp and get right. Going to be brought down top of Carl Freiburg as they'll level up, and there's Alu. 2-round advantage coming the way of NiP here in the first half of the 4th overtime as we now go into round 63.
Money tight. Look at Smiths. 150 on him. Sticks to the M4 as a result. This does get one of the ops out of the hand. That's one way to cancel out that 2-op setup that started to take off the last 2 rounds.
There's going to be such a huge round if NiP can take it, because then EnvyUs into a 4-spy. Potentially, they could be looking at 34-30 going into the last round. There's Alu. He gets the pick on Happy. That's a big one.
That's the only scenario we really haven't seen in overtime yet either, is someone having to force out.
Well, no one's had more than 2-round advantage here in the overtime. And even during the main game, like, did we ever see more than 2-round advantage?
The 14-10 for NiP toward the end, but that was it. That was the only spread we had. So Smiths is on the backside of middle. Happy's already down, as we made mention of, and Smiths wants to be careful on how he picks this. Look at Keo, though, so aggressive.
No one's on A. They're going to let him just walk in for it.
Actually, NBK's falling off of it. He knows he has to. That allows Get Right the chance to walk out from the cave, although he hasn't taken it. He thinks there's still someone up close. They've got to make the call now, and the rotations are already coming around. Smiths from down below already finding 2 with the op. There's one from Shoxy contributing, and the bomb's dropped. The bomb just went down in front of Shox that's on the ramp. This is awkward now for NiP.
Yeah, this also means that EnvyUs, like where Keo is perfect. He can even play from mid-doors because you got to go all the way down to the ramp. The only thing NiP can do right now to win this round is go for the kills. They got 30 seconds. They're already pushing Get Right down through mid. Forest is looking with the AWP.
One Molotov. They could force Shox out of position with it, but they won't be able to smoke to grab it.
Here it comes. And Get Right is actually just going to run up through short. And here they come out. Forest gets the initial hit.
And with
so
Keo
Shock's going to drop. 10 seconds on the clock, though, and Keo, all he wants to do is live, but the plant's still going to go down in time, so he has to come up through short, but it's 2 AKs. Get Right and Forest both picked up the AKs. They dropped the AWPs here. Now Keo, a 1-on-2 retake. He sees where Get Right is. Get Right's going to have a bit of a peek. He only removes 1 point of armor from Keo, as now he's moving up through the catwalk. Get Right drops him to 41.
Forrest just has to play this like Exist. Exact same situation. Bait out the defuse. He's on it.
It's a little bit more of a covered bomb plate, though. It's too far to the right.
But he's also playing that off angle. He's not in the pit.
Yep.
He is on the ledge, so he has the position. I think Keo's just going to push the issue.
Out of time and out of life. And that's going to be now Ninjas in Pajamas claiming their 3rd round. And what weapons do we even get out from EnvyUs? I'm seeing 1 M4 and MBK. Okay, they've got AWP, they got enough cash. They got enough cash because they're also losing all these rounds in a row. Of course, we're getting that money bonus kicking in.
It is still only a 3-round bonus, though, so it's only 1,500. It's not the full 2,500 that they would otherwise get, excuse me. So, I mean, that's significant.
True.
So it ends up being a FAMAS for Smiths rather than an M4.
So I get to take back everything I said during the last round.
And look at Happy.
He's just
more and more aggressive, and eventually they catch someone. Finally they get the pick. They've waited so patiently and never found anything. This time they'll find a Freiburg.
MBK is waiting for these flashbangs to come out through long doors. Well, Keo boosted up, meaning Ninjas in Pajamas. As you were saying, catwalk and that short A movement has just been so heavy for all of the teams, both EnvyUs as well as NiP. So still committing your boost man to that mid, worth it. Because that's exactly where NiP is coming in. They're throwing the smoke. It's very, very deep. But they're moving back up through upper dark now. But EnvyUs have no information to change where they are. Until this. Exist to drop, and they got vision on Get Right too.
Now they'll have to come in. Smith still inside closet, not checked off. Catches Forrest as that first flash did come over, forced him to look away. Get Right's going to join him in the grave, so it's all to Alu. 1 on 5. Last round of the half, no reason. Or pardon me, I'm one ahead of myself.
Yep.
But with lots of money, no reason not to go for it. I'm going to stick with my point. So he'll drop the op down. This will give Envy their first of the half. But again, NiP still in full control. It does mean full guns are going to come out. In fact, we'll go right back to the double op.
We've got an auto sniper as well on Forest.
Why not? We've seen everything else. Why not?
Actually, we haven't seen a single auto sniper for the entire day so far. At Forest, he's just spamming and he got it through mid. Well, skill is not required, and then he switches over for the AK.
That's right. Call it. You may not call skill on the actual shot. I call skill for thinking that way. That was thinking out of the box in a late game where everything has been dead even. That's an advantage you take. Yep. That's a gamble that is a poker play, and it pays off.
And then Happy is able to get the deagle kill over on Get Right. So tip for tat, man. Tip for tat. As Ninjas in Pajamas are about to come through mid. Shox is here, the smoke is there, and he's got the advantage as far as the vision. But he doesn't have anyone to help him with the boost up, so the flashes do fly in. And Forrest, are you wanting to play with, well, I would say fire, but it's just the after effect of smoke. High flashes, Shox still got all the vision in the world. He's going to throw a Molotov into the mid, and he finds Alu while he's trying to jump up. NiP are losing players.
That smoke disappeared at the exact wrong moment. A second sooner, Alu was across.
MBK wants a way out of here.
And he's not on the ledge.
Forrest.
So he couldn't even go for a quick drop there. Forrest gets the shot on him no matter. So he wouldn't have got away either way, but Happy's still at long, still on the platform. He's going to make it a double. Forrest as well, and he's in good position to get the third. No, Exist comes around the corner. What a reaction shot! How does he turn that quickly? Shox goes down, and it's into a one-on-one. Advantage firmly going the way of Keo in terms of HP. And he's already in position to go for the retake, but Exist knows it! And oh my goodness! You talk about a clutch, and now it's a 4-round spread, and NiP are in firm control.
That is big. That is big. Exist taking 3 the last. Yeah, you can smile, man. Grab yourself a beverage. Be really happy with your efforts. Now, for the first time, it's the biggest advantage we've had in this epically long overtime series. And
I'm not ready for it to end.
Really?
No, I'm not ready.
I wanted to tag out before. I'm fairly certain that Artu wanted to jump in. You said you wanted to tag out. Hey, the grin on his face is just like he wants to come in and take your headset off you.
Hey, he's standing by.
Man.
It's my second wind, and you gotta hope EnvyUs gets one of those right now as well. I mean, look at it's again, you talk about mentality. These guys look exhausted right now. Sure, I think if you get a break, they get to go outside. You know, get their nicotine into them. They'll come back and be completely fine for map 3. But right now, sitting there for that long, it's exhausting. And not to mention, this is mentally stressing when it's this close the whole way through. Yep. We've talked about how mistakes have been quite limited.
And you just wonder, stress there. Like you wonder yourself, how much diversity can I find in
Forrest with the auto sniper? I give full marks to that.
Yeah,
that's diversity.
that was one. He knew he had the money for it. And he still needed to have the AK, but it was just a spray through, and EnvyUs weren't expecting it. No, that kind of thing probably won't be able to happen again. But you're still looking in. You're 65 rounds in. This is your 66th round of this second map. You're just wondering how much you can mix it up. You've only got so much diversity.
And nobody electing to go double op this time, so Alu's Happy, actually. So they're not even going to Smith. They're keeping it on Happy. They're going to be your oppers. As Happy's looking to try and catch someone out aggressively at long. The rest of them are grouped up in toward middle, but watch out. Inside the corner. Forrest is stacked right on the inside of the doorway. He's got to be so careful.
Shox is looking for him. Shox is just sitting on top of Cat. Actually, no, he's looking back the other way now.
Happy might get up there as well. And if Happy gets too close with the op and doesn't have it pre-sighted, Forrest could get a free kill there. This is tense.
Inching it. And now he gets the vision. He doesn't get the kill though. Now he does. MBK will drop. A little bit of tag onto Shox as well. But it just gives the smallest advantage to NiP.
And as such, knowing that they were stacked up on Catwalk, now we're going to get that push in through the tunnels on the opposing side. That gives them even more information. Alu catching Shox gives them the man advantage. This is looking very good for NiP.
Now, Alu has been so great here on Dust2. So many of these shots have been cracking on perfectly. And now sitting on top of the side, peeks up. As I say that, the curse is real. Happy will get the pickup, but it's still a 2-on-2 situation. Happy looking towards Freiburg on long. There needs to be a little bit more help. Freiburg goes for the quick pick, but he doesn't know that Happy is up there. He's assuming, though.
And Keo, doesn't matter. He's going to come around and get the kill regardless.
This is a big ask from Exist. He did it last time. But still, a tall order. Throws out the Molotov. I think he's trying to push Happy back from the boxes. So at least he can move up close. Goes to the peak to get some information, but at the same time, Happy knows he's there, and Happy sitting inside the Molotov, but Keo will drop him down. So 32-34. Ninjas in Pajamas, they lose a small bit of this advantage they've worked so hard to achieve in overtime number 4.
I mean, this is insane. It's so tense. Now they're going to bring Smiths back onto it. You can see why they left Happy with it last round. Made great work with it coming up catwalk, found those 2 frags, and now Smiths tries to get that cross shot. Not able to connect just yet. 2 players already make it over toward B.
Nice nade through mid. Shock's punished for coming up so close.
And that was Alu looking for the counter peak. So that close smoke not only prohibits him from doing so, but when the first shot rattled through the doorway, he decided, maybe I better not, because we've seen them lose that battle already. And when they went a man down, in fact, I think he lost that battle twice in this match, and both times they lost the round. So it might be a little better that he chose and thought better of it. Here's the drop,
jumping down. 2 players, in fact, drop into the smoke. Alu's got no idea about this. He's still worried about mid. Shock's able to find the first kill, and now Alu, there's a small gap in the smoke on the left as Forrest moves up too.
Man mode from Forrest, right through the smoke, and Freiberg joins in on the frag party. He's got one of his own. It's all left down to this post-plant positioning as Happy's going to come around. He's got your only op still on the deck. Smiths is elected to go for the rifle. He wants the firepower up close, and they're making sure no one can jump up with the fire out. Happy Smiths, one apiece, and it's all left.
Alu needs to go big. Alu does go big. He can't finish the job though. Or can he? Freiberg, 4 HP, and there it is from Happy. Freiberg will drop, and EnvyUs, they held the high ground. And Ninjas in Pajamas, all they need is 1 round to get a match point. A map point, not even a match point, just a map point.
The closer you get, the farther away you are. This is similar to the end of regulation when they had the 4-round lead.
This is also still a big round for NiP. They're losing rounds in the row, so they will still have some money, but Alu doesn't have much in the bank account at all.
Even I'm stressed when I see a player going for a pre-scoped cross at mid.
EnvyUs couldn't find a hole in B. So once again, we head ourselves back to catwalk. Someone find a heat map of this game.
Flash goes over. Get Right's well deep inside
home
base, so he won't get caught by that.
Yes, as defensive as he can possibly be. Make EnvyUs put themselves at risk. Which is what they're doing right now by coming up through short, walking so tight together.
Catwalk has just been insane.
Happy. Okay. Freiberg still got the smoke up, so they don't have that AWP support from long A, which they're really hoping for. And Alu, by holding back as far as he is, potentially he can just wait until they come onto the site. Now the tees, he doesn't see Shox. Shox in a spray out from the smoke. Now he gets the shot. They're playing the range game, and Alu as well. Freiberg held the long A, and EnvyUs down to 1 man. It's all up to Keo, and Alu will quite happily claim his scalp and the 3rd kill for that round. Ninjas in Pajamas, 2 map points again.
And I give full credit, Alu. I thought he was actually falling too far off, considering there wasn't a second player in position. But by Get Right just getting 1 kill, you saw it actually slowed them down. 2 players stopped, looked back toward Get Right. They might have traded him, but then they just walked in 1 at a time for Alu, whereas originally they were coming in with force, with smokes out, and then I would have expected a quick bomb plant. So Alu hits the shots that matter, and NiP are looking to hit the note that concludes the song. When's the fat lady going to sing? Because we still want another map out of this.
Oh, if they can get it right now, Nerds will also giggle as it will be a 69th round win if Ninjas in Pajamas can claim it. But Shock's already low, down to 9 HP. So the first blood is at least dripping from EnvyUs.
Counter flash out.
Notice the change up in position. Now Alu's playing in short and Get Right players on the site.
I mean, they're trying everything. In fact, Alu's down below, as we see now. He's not actually on the short, but they're trying everything different here just to catch them off, because at this point, the angles are being checked.
Smiths.
They know where the defaults are, so you can't necessarily sit there. Forrest will catch Kiyoshima. That's 1 down, and bomb. That's crucially bomb deep inside mid. They'll know that. Forrest will have seen that from the top of B right now.
Alu is actually turning his back and walking out. He didn't get the shot. Smiths into the Tech 9. He's able to wreck through and Exist just firing through the smoke. It's all up to Shox. Can he actually clutch this? Forrest is there. No, he cannot. It comes to an end of the 69th round. NiP will force us to a 3rd and deciding map in our 2nd semi-final of the CSGO Championship Series.